last one standing.
What's going on?
The city decide they don't need horses no more.
Y'all trying to tear this place down.
Come on, man. How you gonna do that to us? This is where we live.
Oh, hello there. You must be our listener. Welcome to Seen It Movie Reviews. I am C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations. If you just follow me here, I can take you to your seats. Please watch for the trash compactor on your right. Your waiter will be with you momentarily. Glad to be of your service, and enjoy the show.
Hello there. If this is your first time listening, you've stumbled across the Seen It Movie Review podcast. Here, the hosts will give their rating of a film between 1 and 10, and that's it. It's that simple. Now let's get the show on the road, eh?
Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Seen It Movie Reviews.
It's Godzilla.
With your host, Spoiler Steve.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Cork. I'm kind of like the leader in here.
And Kova.
That's not how the Force works.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 229 of Seen It Movie Reviews. I'm Spoiler Steve, and with me, as always, is Kova. What's up, man?
I'm here. I made it. I know. Clap, everybody. Cheer. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the love.
It's crazy. For a minute, we thought he wasn't showing, but just like every other week, he's back, and thank God he is, because without him, I don't know how good the show would be. But we are also not alone. Joining us this week in this fantastic episode of Movie Reviews, welcome back, Brooke.
Hi. I just want you to know that this podcast is filling your head with garbage.
Not at all.
That's my favorite line from Godzilla vs. King Kong or whatever. And I just wanted to say it.
Yeah, no. Oh man, we have some great reviews for you today, and yeah, as you can hear, it's not just Brooke also joining us. Not from last week. Been 2 weeks? I don't know. You've been here a couple times, but welcome back, Anne.
Hi, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And of course, if the listener is wondering, man, did they review the movies already? Yeah, we did. We're already done. We've done everything we needed to do. So we're in the fun zone now, but we have one more guest joining the fun zone, and it is the other half of a guest we had a couple of weeks ago, and that is Dan from Heroes of Noise. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Hello. Glad to be back. I am the other half of Steve, huh? We're just kind of fused together.
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, the word Heroes of Noise, is that
works for me?
How do you want it to go? I mean,
what do your wives think about this?
Yeah, there's a conversation to be had.
A podcast, shall we say?
Oh man. So yeah, anybody.
I'm happy to be back. Thank you very much for having me.
No, no, Dan. Thank you so much, Brooke. Thank you. Everybody listening, thank you. Listen, just in case you haven't been wondering, we've already done our movie reviews. It's all done. We've had a couple of drinks already. We've already done the stuff we need to do. Now we can talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. It doesn't matter. So, yes, we curse and do all that bullshit. I don't really care. Ann and I are related. Yeah, you'll get those jokes later, too. Congratulations. Anyway. All right, let's see. First up in the housekeeping notes, if this is your first time listening, welcome. This is a great show. Here at Seen It, we try to be your bar away from home. Where a bunch of friends get together and talk about movies and pop culture news. So just think of all of the hosts here as a group of friends that got around a bar. We all ordered our own drinks, and you showed up late. And to catch up, you need to listen to the movie reviews. And it's okay. It's the way it goes, because back in the old days, that's how it went. If you remember the AMC channel, it's just like, hello, you're about to show up and see this movie. And now, this movie. And here, you're going to see this movie review by Cinecast, because we're awesome. And here, on this episode, we have, of course, Kova, but as well as Anne, Dan, and Brooke. You see how that went? Wow, that was not scripted at all. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
You sound like the robotic voice of, you have reached the wrong number.
Did that not work, Anne? God damn it.
No, it did. It did.
Or like, our library service used to like call you when you had a book on hold.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
Yeah, sort of like that. But
It's like Kramer and Seinfeld. Why don't you just tell me what movie you want to see?
No, but this would always, say your name. So it would be like, hello, Stephen Maisel. You have a book on hold. Like, it would never pronounce anyone's name right.
Oh, it'd be great if they also told people what book, so you could judge them as they walk up to collect it. Mr. Rondeshmir, your Twilight is up for grabs.
It's for my daughter, people. Leave me alone. Oh, man. But yeah.
Judging so hard.
They have a bookshelf, and they put them on the bookshelf, and, so you go get your own books.
Yeah. So, to the listener going, what the hell is happening? Welcome. This is Seen It Movie Reviews. If this is your first time, fantastic. Here, we talk about movies we've seen, and we have timestamps. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. Anyway, this episode, of course, will be uploaded on a Tuesday, but just in case I don't get this out later, we're taking next week off. I have to go out of town and deal with some family stuff. So because of that, movie reviews will be taking a hiatus for 1 week, and we'll be back the following Sunday. But if you are a big fan and you want to hear our voices next week anyway, please join our Patreon, because there, Kova and myself not only talk about a lot of Tenet, we also talk about Almost Famous. That's one of those movies that came out in the early 2000s, and either myself or Kova have never seen the movie, and it's our first time watching and reviewing it. So if you're like, holy shit, are you serious? You've never seen it? Yeah. And you'll find out if we actually liked it or not. Oh my God. Yeah. And on top of that, we'll still have at least one new premium movie review, and that's the new Gerard Butler movie, Greenland. And there might be more. Who knows? But please join our Patreon now. For $7 a month, you'll get at the minimum of 7 episodes. That's right. So the way it works on our Patreon is, you're right, it might be a little much, but at $7 a month right now, you will be getting 7 episodes a month. So it breaks down to $1 an episode. You'll be getting 4 premium movie reviews. That is covered in the $5 tier as well. Because all of our I want to say 90% of our premium movie reviews will be available to the public within 3 months. So the $5 a month, thank you so much. That is definitely more of a support tier, but at the same time, you're getting our premium movie reviews 3 months in advance. And then anybody in the public that wants to hear our reviews that's on that feed, you can check it out on our Patreon once 3 months is up. So there's 10, 11 movie reviews available to listen to the public if you get on that feed. But on top of that, on top of Back to the Movies and The Blind Spot, we have a new show coming. It'll be coming sometime, most likely, if not May and June, but Kova and I will be doing watch parties. We're going to be doing movies that we all love, but we're going to be doing it with the Patreons, with the people involved with Scenic Community. So what Kova and I have planned right now is either in May or June, we're not sure yet, but one of these Saturdays, we will be on Skype rewatching every episode of WandaVision. And if you're a part of Scenic Community, you'll be able to join the conversation. And if you are a part of the Patreon, you'll be able to hear the conversation. And that's how it's going to go for WandaVision. And then it'll switch up depending on what's going on with the Patreon, or a scenic community. Either way, Cove and I are trying to think of new ways to advance the Patreon to make it more worth it to everybody. But at the same time, we want to get everybody that's involved with the community involved with what we're watching. And most of the time it'll be movies, but I think it'll be fun to go through 6 hours of WandaVision because Cove and I love our conspiracies and everything else. And I read a lot of comics, so I think it'd be a great Saturday where, I don't know, Cove and myself are joined with everybody that's a part of Scenic Community. And whether you want to join episode 1, 2, or 6, 7, you can join in and watch the episode with us. So please stay tuned on when that date will be true, but it'll be real, but it'll be sometime a Saturday or a Sunday. It'll be a weekend, probably in May or June. Kova, anything you want to add to this new addition to the Patreon?
No.
I thought so. So yeah, again, please sign up to patreon.com/scenedcast. There's a lot of shows and episodes we'll be giving directly to not only the patrons, to everybody else involved, but you never know. All right. This past week on Seen It Daily, we had a couple of movie reviews, including Wendy and Tiger Tail. So definitely check that out with the movie reviews. And then, yeah, that's about it. So, Dan, we only have you for a couple more minutes. I'd love to hear about Heroes of Noise, but then I also want to hear your thoughts on whatever you want to talk about, either Invincible or Falcon and Winter Soldier. So the floor is yours.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess if you're just starting to listen to this podcast, hi, and then I must be going soon. But what do you want to talk about, man? You want me to give my my spiel, the Heroes of Noise?
Heroes of Noise spiel, and then whether it's Falcon and Winter Soldier or Invincible, whatever you want to talk about first.
I'm with it, man. Yeah, so if you want to check us out, we're Heroes of Noise podcast. I host it with my friend Steve Hudson, who's also on the show sometimes, this show, that is. And you can reach us at www.heroesofnoise.com. We are just starting to branch out to where we're bringing our audio podcast to YouTube. So now you can get both. Still working that out, but look, for that. And if you want to see the latest episode of what we're doing, you can go to the website and see that too. As far as, let's see, Falcon and Winter Soldier, are we caught up? Is everyone caught up with this?
Oh, good question. Brooke, have you seen the third episode of Winter Soldier?
Yes, I honestly.
Okay, Anne, have you?
Watch it as soon as it comes on.
No, but I'm good.
You don't care about spoilers?
Yeah, please.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Final warning. Dan, all yours.
I'm really digging Falcon and Winter Soldier, man. It's I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. And I love the way it looks because it just looks like it's just one movie that they cut up, but it's got all of the money put into it, This last episode was fantastic. I'm loving seeing Zemo back, and I like that I like that kind of combination where they're doing the whole, like, I keep saying buddy cop, but you know what I mean? Like when you get the two good guys have to work with the bad guy to get some shit done. And
yeah,
I'm trying to do a really quick one because I do have to get going, but the new Cap. So I have a question. Have you noticed that in the credits it says U.S. agent?
That's what he is.
Right, I know that, but so I'm wondering, do you think that it's going to be a situation where, like, he's obviously going to have to give the shield back, right?
Yeah.
So, are you down with that? Are you down with his character? Not so much the story arc, but like his character and the actor that plays him, which his name's drawn a blank right now. I know it's Kurt Russell's kid.
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt, thank you very much. I was going to say like Colby or Dalton or some shit like that. I would have been wrong.
That's same difference.
Yeah, but do you like where his character's going? Like, I kind of think that they're going to move him forward and probably end up using him much like they're going to do with some of the other characters, like in WandaVision, and end up making him part of the existing MCU.
I think he is the fake Winter Soldier. Whoever we saw in episode 1 with that fake wig that wanted to look like the Winter Soldier, I think that's him.
What? What?
Wait, fake wig.
What are you talking about?
The guy who acted like the actual Winter Soldier in episode 1 with the black hair.
About?
At the very end, the guy who comes out?
No, the guy who acts like the actual Yeah,
What scene
I
are
guess.
you talking about?
Yeah.
What scene are you talking about?
At episode 1, I think that.
What scene?
Dream? Was it the dream? That
No,
Bucky
the
had?
actual the army guy where he sees the new the new guy with the Winter Soldier abilities, and he's able to take people out and stuff.
Oh.
And he looks like Bucky with the black wig or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I have
kind
no
of.
clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
I believe you do, but I'm drawing a blank.
It's the end of episode 1. It's in Russia or whatever, and we get some weird-looking Winter Soldier dude coming out and taking people out in the group. And the
No, that's not him. That's the guy that's talking to Carly, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In this episode, what are you talking about?
I want to help badly, but I can't.
I don't believe that though.
You want to put some money on it?
No, that's just my thoughts.
I feel terrible. I've started something, and I'm going to have to go. Well, enjoy all of that. And
no, Dan, thank you so much. Everybody listening. Dan is in our movie reviews, so don't worry, he's still here.
Yes, I apologize for breaking out late, but I do have to go. But I want to say, guys, listen to listen to Picard Cast, listen to Scene It Cast. You're already doing that. Just keep doing that. And then someone talk Anna into getting a podcast too, because she's awesome. It was a pleasure talking to all of you.
Dan.
I want to say that I think that to the listener, these conversations that you're about to hear are actually really entertaining. And there's a lot of fun stuff that we did with these movies. So with that, I'm just going to be factual here. Happy Easter to each and every one of you. And I got to go.
Thank you, Dan, so much. Thank you for joining us.
Bye in a few minutes back in.
Yeah, I will say bye and then see you in just a few minutes here. So, all right, guys, take care.
We love you. Bye.
See ya.
All right, maybe I need to watch episode 3 again. I'm going with the whole thing where it's they're going to do the whole switcheroo where what's his face, U.S. agent is the bad guy.
Oh,
but maybe I missed something in episode 3 because I was.
You need to watch all 3 episodes again.
I don't.
Well, maybe we'll do that again on our Patreon.
Even if he ends up. Even if he ends up being the bad guy, I don't think he ends up being like one of those people.
I won't be surprised if they make us think that they make us feel bad for him because he was thought we're getting the whole Captain America story where it's just who's ready to see me sock old Adolf in the jaw or whatever. It's basically the same thing again with him. So it's could we end with him? Or okay. All right, full spoilers for comic book readers because here's the thing with Patriot and Elijah Bradley and everything. In the Young Avengers, the whole thing with Patriot is that he's using drugs to become like Captain America. He's not actually like his grandfather. So I'm curious as these last 3 episodes, are we actually going to find out that all of these soldiers are on drugs? Because that's that's one of the main stories of Young Avengers is that we're going to learn, the whole point of, Patriot is that, he's running around grabbing all these drug dealers because they're serving this Captain America drug and he's actually stealing them and using it for himself. And that's the whole storyline of Patriot. So I'm curious, are they going to input that at all into this and that we find out that all of these Winter Soldiers are on this drug like heroin and they have to keep taking it. So I'm curious if that comes into play, but that's where I'm just that's where I'm thinking are they trying to make the guy in episode 1 is that U.S. agent to throw off readers and viewers, but hey, maybe I'm just wrong and I'm thinking too hard because
that's an interesting theory. But harking back to the originals and comic book people who would be oh, I see what they did there. That's all I have to contribute because I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, no.
But really, but that sounds I'm still going to probably watch it. I really don't mind about spoilers.
Did you watch WandaVision?
I did see. Oh, yeah, I did. I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm trying to educate myself more because I'm really beginner with all this, and my boyfriend's read the comics, so he's helping me out as well. But
I can give you my Marvel Unlimited sign-in, and that gives all the comics. So if you want to read more on stuff.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you're like family.
But-
Yes.
Yes.
No, but thank you. Yeah, but no, that theory sounds really interesting. I would like to see in the future if you're right.
Brooke, anything you'd like to add, or did I ask already for Falcon Winter Soldier?
Well, you asked me last week, but yeah, I like this episode too. Also,
I'm just making sure I'm not going back to you again. So what did you think of this episode?
No, I enjoyed it, and I like there are people on Twitter and they're like, "Oh yeah, Sharon Carter, what a glow up." I still don't care about Sharon Carter. I'm sorry. Anyway, but I love Baron Zemo so much.
Yeah.
But I love Daniel Bruhl, so I mean, he has a lot to do with it, and like, he was dancing and like,
Koval loved his dancing scene. Koval was like, "Oh my god!"
I love Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Sorry,
Anne, you need to see this.
Yeah.
I know. I will. No, I will. And I'll let you guys
Dancing
know when I
scene
see
is
that.
everything.
I just keep seeing it, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta catch up.
Oh, and he's just, basically like, yeah, guys, I was a baron. We had lots of money, and now my country's gone. So thanks a lot.
Like Baron. The name's Baron.
Like, I am a baron. It's not my name. I wish he had said that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because at that point I'm like, this episode is making me think his first name is Baron, and that's not right.
Oh, anyway, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. Koval, what about you? Anything you want to add for what's it called, for Falcon and Winter Soldier, or would you like to get into Invincible?
I don't care.
Okay. Okay, so then if you don't care, then I want to know your thoughts on Invincible episode 4, because as a comic book writer, there's a lot of actual like freedom.
You're a comic book writer?
Did I say that? Damn it. As a comic book reader, the actual story that they're using
I want
this.
to know what comics you read.
None.
Tell me.
Absolutely none, Kova. You got me. I'm a fraud. No.
Well, yeah.
But how dare you? But seriously though, comparing to the comics, every episode is about a volume's worth of material, but at the same time, what's it called? We are going through a bit of different stuff, but you haven't read any of it. So I'm just curious, with episode 4 now that coming in, that was much more of a calmer episode since the first 3. What do you think of the series so far?
No, the series is great. They do a great job of telling you the story and putting the pieces together slowly as it's progressing, and you're seeing more and more of what our villain, I think, in the series is, and what he's doing behind the scenes. And we're still trying to get his overall plan, but I can pretty much tell what it is. And if you want to read the comic, go for it. But there's always going to be changes. Like, I've already read that there's been multiple changes.
A lot of changes.
Yeah. But overall, I think it's a great series. I think that the voice cast is really, really good. Nothing much for me to say, because I've only seen for the first 4 episodes, and I don't know anything besides, what I've seen on the screen. I've never read the comic or anything like that. So I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I wish more animated series were like this. But that's just me. I just love violence. So
I just love violence.
Hey man, like the way you see people's heads getting punched in, that's great.
If he dies, he dies.
Exactly.
But yes. Okay. So then, Anne, anything you want? You didn't see anything you want to add for anything that we talked about?
Let's see. I really don't know.
Great.
You're welcome.
Brooke, what about you?
I still haven't watched it.
Fantastic. All right. So we're all done then. I just want to make sure. I don't want to take anybody out. The only last thing I have to talk about really is Godzilla vs. Kong made some news in the box office. They made most in the past year, I guess, for pandemic openings. Kova, do you have anything that you want to talk about with that?
I mean, the only thing I can say is that it looks like we're slowly getting the theaters back. And it's good to see a movie have a good outing, even though everybody's like, it made more money than Wonder Woman. I'm like, but Wonder Woman did it in 3 days. You guys are counting 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're all cheering about this, but whatever. But either way, I'm happy to see that a film is making a lot of money in during this time in our life with the pandemic and everything. And, you know, it just goes to show that there are other parts of the world that are doing better at it than others, and they're moving on faster than others, and it's good to see that there's still options out there, to go to a theater. And I look forward to being in the theater, not with a lot of people, but still going to see some of these movies that are coming out later this year. Like, I really like, as much as I love the fact that Black Widow is going to be on Disney Plus, I would prefer to see it in theater. The same with Dune. I would rather see it in theater. It's just my preference because of I know how much hard work goes into those types of films, and not just those, the small independent ones too. It's like I honestly miss how we had it in 2019, where I saw 170 something films because I was going to every film that came out every weekend. I miss that so much. Now it's just like, can we watch this one? You know, and it's driving me insane. But I understand the situation we're in. But I look forward to being in a theater sooner than later.
I do miss seeing films on the big screen.
All right. Well, then, if that is it, then we're going to take a quick break. But when we return, we'll be getting down to business, and we'll be talking about our first movie review of the night, and that will be Godzilla vs. Kong. We'll be right back to talk about all of that. Stay tuned.
We have to take it. We need Kong. The world needs him to stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same.
Right, first review of the night. First review of the night. We're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. I almost said Kong vs. Godzilla for some reason. I keep asking Kova too. I'm like, what's first? I don't know why. I can't remember. But it's Godzilla vs. Kong because he's had more movies. That's the determination. The movie is right now certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at 76% with 289 reviews, averaging at a 6.4 out of 10. Critics' consensus, delivering squarely on its title, Godzilla vs. Kong swats away character development and human drama to deliver all the spectacle you'd expect from giant monsters slugging it out. The audience disagrees with more than 2,500 verified ratings. The average is at 93%. Or the audience score is at 93%, averaging at a 4.6 out of 5. And the audience says this long-awaited blockbuster matchup makes it easy not to think about the so-so story and characters by serving up plenty of action and incredible effects. All right. Synopsis for the film. Legends collide in Godzilla vs. Kong as these mythic adversaries meet in a spectacular battle for the ages, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home, and with them is Jaya, a young orphaned girl with whom he has formed a unique and powerful bond. But they unexpectedly find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla, cutting a swath of destruction across the globe. The epic clash between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the earth. This was released March 31st, 2021 in both theaters and HBO Max, directed by Adam Wingard, who's directed some films including The Guest, Death Note, and both VHS 1 and 2. It is written by Eric Pearson and Max Bornstein, and the story is credited to Terry Rossio, Michael Dougherty, and Zach Shields. So that's a total of 5 people working on the story that got credit. Cast includes... Just
so people know.
That's right.
Michael Dougherty is not related to me. Oh, God. It's spelled different. Some people know my last name, and some...
Well, now they all do, Brooke.
Now they all do, but I'm not telling them how it's spelled.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cast includes Alexander Skarsgård as Dr. Nathan Lind. Millie Bobby Brown returns as Madison Russell. Rebecca Hall as Dr. Eileen Andrews. Brian Tyree Henry as Bernie Hayes. Sean Aguri as Ren Sarazawa. Isa Gonzalez as Maya Simmons, Julian Dennison as Josh Valentine, Lance Reddick as Guillermin, Kyle Chandler as Dr. Mark Russell, Damian Bashir, again, we just talked about this man, as Walter Simmons, and Kaylee Hottie as Jaya. All right. Anne, starting with you, out of 10, what are you giving Godzilla vs. Kong?
I'm giving it a 6.2.
All right, 6.2 from Anne. Brooke, where are you?
I was gonna give it a 6.125 because I just want to do the decimal thing. No,
6.125?
That's what I was going to say. You're like, oh my God.
Brooke, Brooke, your rating can be whatever you want it to be. I just need to know what you want it to be.
No, I just was joking. Anyway, if you listen to the Patreon episode, Dan does a whole thing with decimals, and so I wanted to make a joke about that.
I get crazy with them decimals.
He does.
You want to get crazy?
Where's the subscription alone?
So yes, Brooke, where are we?
6.1 for Godzilla vs. Kong, Dawn of Justice.
All right. Dan, where are you?
Oh man, you know what? I'm giving this one a 5.8.
All right. Kova, where are you? Kova?
I'm going to be the highest. I'm getting a 7.5.
7.5 from Kova. I thought I was going to be the lowest. Turns out I'm not. I'm actually pretty shocked. I'm giving this a 6.7. So I am actually the second highest here, where I thought I was going to be the lowest on this review. Yeah, so that brings our average to a 65% for Godzilla vs. Kong, available in theaters and on HBO Max. And back to you, spoiler free. Going to you first because I know you are a big fan of monsters and just like, monster universes in general and stuff, Frankenstein, the Mummy and all that. And,
and dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. You and I were big fans of the, Matthew Broderick, Godzilla from 1999. Yes. when we were like, 11 years old. We're like, there's eggs! Oh my God!
What is wrong with you?
We were 11, Kova. It was in the theater. Anyway, but Anne, I am shocked you are at a 6.2.
I know.
So I gotta ask, is it worth seeing in theaters? Is it worth seeing on HBO Max? If you don't have it, is it worth getting the subscription? You're at like a D- here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. It's complicated, because like I love the action, I love that, and it's just like the human story. I know they have to make some kind of connection, but I was just like, oh my gosh, why? Why do you have to spend so much time on the humans? The other parts were fun. It's ridiculous, the action scenes. But again, you're going to see a movie called Godzilla versus Kong. So I think if you're up for those movies and you love it, you're probably going to rate it. Well, I hope someone would rate it higher if they actually love those films. If they're like diehard fans. But I don't know if it's worth going to the theater, or again, it depends on if you're a fan or not. You probably wouldn't mind renting it if you don't have HBO Max. Don't expect much. You might want to fast forward to the cool parts. And then even then it's just utterly ridiculous, but I had a good time. And again, it was a fun monster movie. I want to say more, but they're spoilers. So I'm just going to say that it was a fun movie. I wasn't expecting Citizen Kane, but at the same time, it was like same things were used in the film where it's like, oh my God, they're going to do this. And then you have an obvious villain with a grin. He's like, so it was like, oh, just get to the fighting. So it's fun. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I just want to add also, at this moment, I mean this with all respect and love to everybody. It doesn't matter what you gave the other movies in the franchise, what you thought about those. We're here to talk about Kong versus Godzilla. And then once we get into spoilers, then we can dive into the entire franchise. But I am right now just curious on this movie specifically. So I just wanted, and I'm glad, because if you had brought that up, I would have stopped you immediately. So I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah,
but, I'm just curious right now on this movie, not
standalone.
Like, yeah, obviously, like, don't get me wrong. Like, do you need to see the others? You can say that, but I'm not trying to get into any type of comparisons. I want to know how this movie did.
Yeah, like story wise, yeah. Characters, you're introduced to them. Some of them, you're just like, okay, I know why you're here. I know why this character is here. Dialogue is hilarious. I mean, this is from the trailer, but Kong bows to no one. It's like, oh my God. And then, just the characters weren't that well developed, and you just kind of knew what was going to happen. So, and they were trying too hard, I think, with some scenes where they're trying to make it look fantastical and artsy. And it's like, this is a Kong and Godzilla movie. Why are you trying to put this artsy aesthetic to it? So I just think they could have done a much better job with a movie like this instead of going back to the old stories of just like good versus evil. You have this person, they're going to have a bond, and so it was just the same stuff again.
Yeah, there's just, I'll definitely, I mean, I was trying to save myself for last because I thought it'd be the lowest, but I mean, I'll definitely, I will just sprinkle in a little bit where, there's like, you're not wrong. And like, there's definitely a lot of just huge eye roll moments. And I'm not a monster fan. I really like, dinosaurs are cool, but I was never a fan of Godzilla. And if this was only in theaters, this would have been, I make one rule for myself at least, where I will not go to like, cause we review everything. I will not see one movie a year. I will, whatever that is, I'll sometimes it might not happen, but it's always been the Godzilla movies. I missed Godzilla originally in theaters, and when I saw it on HBO, I was furious that it took so long. Oh, whoa, I'm breaking my own rule. Brooke, let's get over to you. You're at a 6.1. Your thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong?
I agree with a lot of what Anne said. For me, I prefer like going to see, I don't know, other kind of movies just in general. But if I'm going to watch like some sort of kaiju movie, I appreciate, the guys in the suits or like Ray Harryhausen stop motion, that kind of thing. Like I appreciate that kind of real tactile, sort of visual effects instead of just super CGI. So if you like all the fight scenes and you don't mind a lot of CGI, watch this. That's great. But it's just that combined with, I don't know why. I don't know why they even put people in these movies. That's not why people want to watch it. Like, and even if it looked more cartoony, I think I would have loved it more if it had just been even more like an actual cartoon of them fighting. Because who the hell cares about the people in these movies? It's like, it doesn't have to look realistic. I don't care. We just want to see something cool. So it's like, because there's not enough to make an actual connection with any of the human characters, especially when you have like 75 human characters that only have like a sentence each they say, and then half of those say like maybe 3 more sentences. It seems like, why? Anyway, we'll get to that. I did like Bobby Millie Brown. I think she's good in these movies, but not needed.
So Brooke, I gotta ask them before I move over to Dan. Then you're at a 6.1. You're at a D-. Like, what is making this a passable movie to you and not a fail? And or is that a spoiler question for you?
Well, because some of the fights and stuff were good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, because I don't hate this kind of stuff. It just has to be either, like, I feel like it's got to be done the right way for me. Either like minimal people or like just a few enough people that you can actually have some sort of connection. But there were all the 2 different factions of scientists and all that, and it was just, I don't know, it was too much.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. So then, Dan, moving over to you, you're the lowest at a 5.8. You are at what would be considered an F instead of a D-, a fail, not pass. Piggybacking on what Ann and Brooke have been saying, what is it to you that, I guess, are you saying this is not worth watching at all?
I wouldn't say it's not worth watching at all. I think it has to do with whether or not you just want to see like big monkey lizard smash stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I know we're not going to go into other movies, but I will say that I'm kind of a fan of the other ones. You know what I mean? And other Godzilla movies. But with this one, I'll be honest with you, it was just a big steaming pile of shit to me. I think that it was we were being fed things that, like, there's enough going on. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, and Brooke said it perfectly. Like, if you're going to have these awesome fights, which they're pretty grand fights, but if you're going to have them, just make the whole thing CGI, because there becomes a point, and it's totally understandable because you're dealing with now the primary, like, the focus of the movie is a giant lizard and a giant monkey, right? So like, you have to go full CGI with that. But it was like the combination of the two. It just didn't work for me. I just thought it looked terrible. I thought that there are some things, even though there's like this cool fight going on, and there are some cool moves, some cool things that happen, but it's like, I won't get into specifics, but there are some choices that are made with Kong where it's like, okay, are you an 80s action movie star, or are you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just and there's some poor choices. And then like, I'll get more specifically into it because I have the way that they treated Kong on the boat, and I won't go any more into that. And then there's no freaking reason, and I like both of these actors, but there's no reason whatsoever for Millie Bobby Brown or Julian Dennison to be in this movie whatsoever. Brian Tyree Henry is pretty much there as well. I understand you got to incorporate human actors into these things because you have to see, it's these giant titans that are affecting Earth. So obviously you have to have some human interplay, but don't bullshit me. I've seen enough of these movies, and I just thought, you know what, this was cheap. And I honestly think this movie was just garbage. It's just terrible.
Like, I love Julian Dennison too. He's a great, kid actor, teenage actor or whatever too. And then, you mentioned Brian Tyree Henry. It's like, I keep forgetting that he was in that. And I just watched it. And it's like, he's so much better than that.
Yeah. And does somebody owe Kyle Chandler money? Like, why is he in this movie? Do they owe him a favor? There's no reason for any of these humans to be in this movie. And the antagonists are cheesy. It's just garbage. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes. Yeah.
Same with like Rebecca Hall. When I saw her, I was like, oh, she needed a paycheck.
Right?
But she gets a lot of work. She's like a respected British actress. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this?
It might just be contract shit where it's just like, it's more of the studio needs her. She might not want to do it. It's more of like, you signed a contract. You're in the franchise,
Yes, you could have agreed to it years ago.
Yeah, true. Good point. Still,
it's so it's one of those things where it's like, hey, but they're getting a 6-digit check, so
yeah, I'm sure she's fine with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like, oh no, Godzilla.
I mean, you have to make a dud every now and then. You just have to. And this was it.
Yeah. There's just like I don't know. I guess like before we shift over to the guy who loved it, Kova, I do think that
Calm down, horse girl.
Yeah, you don't like it now, do you, Kova? Do you?
I'm not the one that was pinning horse girl as the best of the year.
I never said that either. You keep putting that those words in my mouth, and I never said it.
Prove
it. Easily, it's on tape.
Roll the tape,
hold on.
Steve.
I'm not helping.
I pulled out my own headphones. I can't hear anything now. Hello, there we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So anyway, there are some good ideas, especially for the Godzilla universe that they're trying to introduce with this movie. There were some good parts. I think one of the biggest weaknesses, aside from the writing for the humans that didn't really need to be in this at all, it was just the build up towards it. This really felt like they were trying to build onto the other movies, but also retroactively doing it at the same time. So just the stories are not that great with like how do I say this? It looks good.
You're saying it's the DC Comics universe of monster movies.
Almost. I mean, the cover looks good. The cover of the book looks good, but it's like you start reading, and you're just like, oh, this is a good idea, but wait, what? And then like another idea comes on, you're like, oh, okay, wait, what? And then you're just like, oh, and then it's just like, and all of you just like, what movie are we in? And it's just like, there are some good parts and everything, but like, yeah, I think where it's just like, I'm at a D+ because or like a solid D at least, because it's, I don't know. I guess for me, it's fine for monster fans is definitely what you're looking for, but there are even some moments with the camera where like, they're just really just like, relax. Like there are points where they're just like flipping and shit. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like,
they use a lot of the cameras on the arms of the monsters.
No, I think those are fine. There were just some points where they just decided to flip 180 on us, and you're just like, like, look how cool this turn is. It's just like, no.
It's like, what is that? They never thought about if. They only thought about if they could, but they never thought about if they should or whatever. Like
Jurassic Park.
You're right. Like this, you're right. That does look kind of cool, but that's not the movie we're in.
Yeah,
like
that's that for another movie.
Like it's almost like a new cinematographer came in for that day and was like, "Hey guys, well, we did this," and then afterwards in post they're like, "Wow, that looks really good. Who did that?" And the cinematographer that's there is like, I did. Let's keep it in the film." But yeah, anyway.
It was like the second crew or whatever. What did they call them? When they had
second unit.
Second unit. Yes. I was like, what is it called? It's like secondary. Something.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like they seem cool, but it's just like, not for this movie. It's just like everything's already too wild. We're in the wild. It's just too crazy. But Kova, you're at a solid C, at a 7.5. So I'm assuming that you're going to recommend this to any monster lover, but then your indie film kicks in. You're just like, ugh. Am I right?
Not necessarily. With me is I know what I'm getting when I watch it. It was like the last one I gave a 7, and they're all 7s in that aspect.
This movie, Kova, we're so close.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like I know what I'm going in for. I'm not there to see the romance between Nathan Lind and Dr. Eileen, whatever her last name was, because they just kept calling her Eileen that during the whole movie.
She is a doctor.
I enjoyed it,
but
because
I was there for Dr. Lynn's Marty McFly outfit at the end. Oh my!
I was gonna say that, but all right.
Yeah, sorry.
But, but I know what I'm going in there, what I'm getting myself into, and for me, honestly, I would have enjoyed to see the fights on the big screen. I've heard so many people say if you watch this on the big screen, it's a fucking amazing. I was like, fuck, I wish I had seen it in theaters. Now I probably would have enjoyed the fights even more than I already did. And yes, the human element of these films is not good. It never has been. But for me, in this one, I like what they did with the relationship of the little girl and Kong. I think that is the most developed relationship in this whole film, apart from the monsters fighting. I really enjoyed. Like, I was really hooked with the little girl, and I enjoyed it even more because I watched this movie a second time after I found out that the little girl is deaf in real life. I was like, oh, that makes it even better for me. Okay. I was like, thank you. I was like, so when I watched it the second time, I was sitting there and I went, wow, like that's actually, yeah. I watched it the second time. And oh, by the way, I've seen Justice League 3 times already.
Oh, do you
the Snyder Cut one? How do you have time to do that? Did you sleep?
Do you view everything in slow motion now?
Yeah, everything.
You make it so easy, Kova.
Yeah, but like I said, for me, I'm not there for the human element. If I ate popcorn, like one of my favorite reviewers does, like he says, yeah, I like my big bucket of corn and just sit there and chow down because I know what I'm in for. I just want the monsters to fight. I don't care about anything else. And that's what I was in for. I didn't care. Like, granted, there is a really cool story element that I really like regarding Kong that I was just like, that's a really good. If you had just stayed in that story, I would have loved this movie even more. Like, that story. Everything else, I was just like, I could have done without. I could have done without the ending that we got, even though it was cool to see. But that story element that we got with Kong and what their mission is, I was like, I would have just seen an hour and a half of that, and that would have been cool for me. Just that journey would have been sufficient for me. But the movie's Godzilla versus Kong. And if you really pay attention, this movie isn't Godzilla versus Kong. It's Kong's story, and then Godzilla comes in and fights. And that's it.
Basically, yeah, because Godzilla had his 2 movies, Kong only had 1.
Yeah, and like I said, I think this is. I know somebody will disagree with me. I thought the fighting in this was the dinosaur. I mean, the monster fighting was some of the best in the last 3 or 4 films. Because Kong, same thing. It didn't have that much, but I like this. I got exactly what I wanted to see. They did a little extra, like Dan said, with the 80s action star thing. I literally said, oh, he did that. And then they did that.
Yep.
A few times, yeah.
And it just made me laugh. Like, I just went, all right, I see what you did there. And then I just took it for what it was. I wasn't looking for, friggin' Goodfellas or The Godfather in this film. I was looking for any of that. I was just looking for 2 monsters just saying, let's kill each other.
You didn't like the scene when Kong was like, I'm going to make an offer. He can't refuse.
No, I don't think he did a very good job there with his dialogue. But like I said, I got what I wanted. I wish I had seen it on the big screen. But, you know, it's not Mortal Kombat because for that, I will go all hazmat suit, gloves, goggles, everything to watch Mortal Kombat on the big screen.
Nice. So, yeah, again, that brings our average to a 65% overall. So it is available on HBO Max as well as in theaters if you are able to and safe enough to go and check it out in theaters, which might be the only reason to see it at the moment if you listen to our review. But again, 65%, that's our average. Here's our final warning. 3, 2, 1. Full spoilers. Kova, sticking with you. What do you want to talk about first? What you want to get into Kong's story a little bit? What do you want to talk about first?
The story element that I liked with Kong is the Hollow Earth stuff. Like, I really was like, I'm really into this part of the story.
Yeah.
Everything else that was going on, like, I'm sorry, like, you don't need to have Kyle Chandler in this movie. You don't need to have Millie Bobby Brown, Julian Dennison, or Brian Tyree Henry. There's no reason for them to be in this film. I could have done easily with, or even, especially Isaac Gonzalez. Like, I love her. I think she's a great actress, beautiful woman, but I'm like, you have become the typical person that they put in a film just to do something that they need. Like, she did in Hobbs and Shaw. She was only in there for 5 minutes. Here's your guns, guys. Do what you got to do. But yet they put her on the poster like number 5 or 4th build, and the same thing with she's
the guy's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
she's like the Megan Fox of this movie.
Yeah, and she's become that with a lot of films. Don't get me wrong. I thought she was amazing in I Care a Lot. I thought she was great in that film. I gave her, I'm like, finally, you're in a role that I can see
I haven't
you're in.
seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, me neither.
It's really,
see that.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, she's gorgeous, so I mean, I guess it wouldn't be. It's not
She's
like
got
it
a hell
would
of
be
an
that,
entrance.
You know.
Yeah, and so she's become that actress that they just put in films for a certain specific thing, and they only need her for that time, and then either you never see her again or she dies. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, you should be building a better resume than this. Like, do your agents hate you? But like I said, like, you don't need that. That whole Hollow Earth stuff, I was so into that. I was like, I like this story. This story is real interesting. Like, I could get behind this. You give me an hour-and-a-half movie on this, I'm in. I love that whole aspect. The little girl saying it could be your home, and just fucking, they took something really like cool and said like, hey, let's make it so that he understands her and he's learned to sign. I really like that, because instead of just being a dumb monkey fighting, he understands and has reasoning with the little girl.
Yeah, I mean, but gorillas also do sign, so it's just like, that just annoyed me. Like, how do the humans not even try to do that? It's been 40 years.
Thank you.
I completely understand that. But for me, I just like the fact that that he had a relationship with someone in this one, whereas in previous films,
I got you.
Giant monkey killing people, blonde little woman. Let me put her in my hand. I'm gonna go to the top of the building. Like, we've seen it a ton of times, and I'm glad we don't have to see it anymore. And I really like that. Now the Mechagodzilla stuff, I was like, that's cool, but I just don't care. Like, I'm so much into this Hollow Earth stuff. That was what really gave it like a lot of the score for me. And then, the fight scenes. Like, I really like the fight scenes. I was like, you can see them, because in Godzilla, Steve points it out all the time. We don't see him ever. He's like maybe like a glance here and there.
Yeah.
And then when you do see him, it's dark because they want to make sure you can see his fucking breath.
Yeah. So, like, I love these fights, and the fact that they were just duking it out, I was like, yeah. But then, the best part is because I'm watching it at Steve's house. He goes to walk his dog, and I'm like, and I went, they did the Martha. And then he's like, what? I'm like, they did the Martha. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, rewind it. When they did that, I was like, I can't believe you motherfuckers did this. I was like, wow. Like, I was so surprised. I was like, you're not going to do it. And then when I saw it, I was like,
you did it.
You did it. I can't believe you fucking did it. But it's not like in the, you see movies like, you're like, you did it, you son of a gun.
Bastard actually did it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not Jeff Goldblum in this. You son of a bitch, you did it.
You sons of bitches did it.
For me, it was more like, you did it. You fucking did. I can't believe you.
I can read. It's like I can read memes too. Like we all saw it coming. You fuck. Like what the hell? Like
that's my biggest negative of this film, apart from the humans, is that fucking bullshit. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? But the 80s action stuff, I was like, I'm down for that. I don't mind. I don't care. Do it. Like it was stupid, but I was just like, you're going for cheesy. Got you.
Oh, God.
Dude. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean...
Because think about it. All 80s movies, what is it? Cheesy action and cheesy dialogue. And that's like, if Godzilla and Kong could talk, they would have had some stupid, I'm too old for this shit.
Why are we doing this still?
Looks like we gotta do it one more time.
Is that a metal? Is this a moving building? Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
What is this? It keeps biting me.
But
Titans for life. Titans for life.
Don't get me wrong. Like, fine, you did the Mothra thing, Martha, whatever, however you want to call it, fine. But then, like, Kova, like when you pointed out when we were watching, you were like, lethal weapon, and I'm like, no, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
He goes full Martin Riggs.
Oh, yeah. Kong's like, hold please, bam. Sorry, Brooke.
And then don't forget the jumping from the thing in Die Hard. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, he did a Hans Gruber, right?
No, John McClane.
Oh, right.
From Nakatomi Plaza. I was like, holy shit! Like, I can't believe
you were so excited. I could not understand what you were saying for a second. But yes.
I loved it. It's because I love those movies. Those movies are what I grew up with. Look, trust me, those are the movies I should not have been watching at the age I watched them at. But my dad's like, fuck it, you're watching what I'm watching. So it's like I say it all the time in this podcast. At 5 years old, I saw Terminator, and I was just like, cool.
I saw all the Predator movies because my cousin, who is 5 years younger than me, was watching them. So he was like 5 years old and watching them, and I was like 10, and I'm like, I've never seen any of this.
Like, fuck this kid, I'll watch with you. Oh my God, I'm scared.
Like, I was the 12-year-old watching Tarantino, and people are like, what's wrong with your child? Nothing, the dialogue's amazing.
Yeah, our family's definitely a bit different. My little sister, like, one day, just like, 12 years old, we're like, what movie you putting in? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Goodfellas. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Growing up right.
Right?
Good taste.
So yeah, love the monster stuff. I wish we would have just stuck with the Hollow Earth story. That seemed more interesting to me because you're going off a supposed theory in science. Like even real science says, could there be a Hollow Earth?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. Like, so that was more interesting to me. Like once it got to Damien Bachir being the mustache twirling villain. Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't care about you. I don't care about the journey that Billy Bobby Brown's character is doing, Madison. I don't even remember what Kyle Chandler's character's name except for Dad.
He's there for like a week of filming. He's in like 3 scenes. Like, Billy, why are you here?
I forgot about him.
Worst father in the fucking world, by the way. I'm in Hong Kong. Oh, okay, cool. What's up? What you want for dinner? Like, no, didn't even flinch.
Like, he's in Hawaii, but cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was oh my God. But like I said, I just there for the monster stuff. I grew up with it, and I still don't understand how Steve and Ann fucking love Godzilla 1998.
We were 11.
It was fun. I would rather see that.
And also, we lived in the tri-state area, so when you see the subways now as being actual fertile ground, you're like, oh my god! You're just like you're right there with them.
Laying eggs in Madison Square Garden. Are you
Dude, come on! I've been there. It's just I've
been there.
I've been there too, but that didn't make it any better.
Whatever, bro.
I don't remember that part. I just remember it being fun.
And then the fucking design of Godzilla, I was like, what the fuck is that?
That was piss poor. You're right about that. I didn't think that
was my first Godzilla.
Bad. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I didn't think that movie was all that bad, but it was just the design of Godzilla and the unbelievability of frickin' Ferris Bueller being like the protagonist. You know what I mean? But it wasn't
that.
I like the story. I actually like the story better than this one. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. For me, like I said, like if you're noticing, my talk is all about the Hollow Orc stuff. That was interesting to me. Everything else, I was just like, I don't care. Like I really don't care. Even though I was into fighting with the Mecha Godzilla, and I like the whole like he takes control of the mind. I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I was like, go more even stupid. I'm down with it. Yeah, you've already done fucking Die Hard, and then and Mothra.
See, I was actually all for the Mechagodzilla. I was like checked out the moment. Not only is there some fucking magical axe that links to Godzilla, but it's also a fucking key. And there's a keyhole, and if you turn it, I'm just like, nope, I'm done. Now you're like national treasure. I'm like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm like, and that's why I'm at a D+ and not a C-, where I'm just like, what? Now there's a key. Who made this? Now we're in Ancient Aliens time. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Kong has an understanding of human anatomy to where he can actually reset his shoulder. He knows, I get going off of instinct, but he knows the mechanics of working a key. It's just,
if I just put this in here and it fits, like, you didn't even try. It's the first try. Like, come on, man.
The axe was dope, though.
But then it was a key. It's just like, come on.
But it had a freaking scale on it because it's from the old time.
Godzilla
that can charge up. That's super dope. I'll give it that. I'm saying something good about the movie.
It was Thor. It was a wannabe Thor. We were all thinking
Stormbreaker. It was freaking King Kong Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that. But can we also talk about the defibrillator scene? What?
That didn't bother me for some reason.
I think it bothered me because I knew it was going to happen. I was like, no, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do the shoulder thing. Oh, here's a building. I'm like, no. And then they did it. I was like, why the fuck not? Come on. Oh, that bothered me.
Dan, you are the lowest here, so the floor is yours. If you need your soapbox, by all means, grab it. But yeah, is this just like, it sounds like you were a big fan of the other ones. So like you were going into this like, oh yeah, Godzilla, King Kong. And then it just sounds like you were just like, what?
Well, I don't know. It's not necessarily that that's the thing. I gave it a low rating, but I also watched it twice too. The second time, honestly, I just want to know, did I just watch what I watched? Yeah, okay, it is. It's what I watched. But, it's still a watchable movie is the thing. Like I wouldn't tell someone just avoid this at all costs. It's really not that. It's just that I didn't necessarily love the other ones, but when you compare this one to Godzilla King of the Monsters, that one just looks better. You know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier, now you're dealing with like two Titans where you have Godzilla. I had to kind of rethink that as I was talking about it because it's like you have Godzilla and Kong. So I'm thinking, okay, well, more CGI because that makes sense. But correct me if I'm wrong. It seems to me that they did a way better job with more monsters in Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I just, it was something where it just like, again, I feel like if you would have taken, let's say the whole Hollow Earth thing, that would be a fantastic video game. That story could be a video game. Like,
that's Kong's sequel. And then you do this movie.
Yeah. Or just an animated feature. But I agree with Kova. I think that was probably like the most intriguing part of the movie. I was just picking apart, and I get it, man. Like I know what you're getting yourselves into when you go and see a movie like this, or when you watch a movie like this on television. So I'm not trying to, like it was said earlier, I'm not expecting Citizen Kane. It's just that I just felt, I don't know. I felt like, okay, listen, this is all fun and games, but now you kind of hurt my feelings because you're not giving me enough credit here. And it was all those little silly things like the action stuff with a shoulder, or like the whole King Ghidorah skull thing. Okay, now maybe this is just me not understanding it, but again, I watched it twice. So if it's simple, this is on me. But am I to understand that they got a skull, one of the 3 skulls from King Ghidorah, right?
Yep.
And and it's got some kind of magical property to it where you can link this up and apparently run it much like you do in Pacific Rim off with a human, right? Yep. So then this fucking thing is able, because this is where I'm wondering, is it just because it's like magical stuff where it goes sentient? Is that what we're supposed to assume?
Because they're using the mind of it.
The brain.
The mind is the mind is still alive because, the mind works with electricity somehow. I don't understand that. And they just said, let's do it this way. It'll work.
They jump started it, but it took over. So now it's essentially either possessed.
Yeah, because they keep saying throughout they kept saying throughout the movie about how the Kova, what was it? It was like the actual, not the technology, but like the air, the atmosphere, but like the actual.
They can sense each other. They can sense each other whenever one of them's around. Like they know when to. Yeah, so that they did.
They're like linked in their own like psychic like thing. So like that's why when you get into like the computer part, it's more of like the ghost of that monster kind of took over the technology portion, and that's why. So yeah, because they're supposed to be like aliens.
Okay, fantastic. That's all fine and dandy.
Yeah,
it's like Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine from back in the 90s.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
Like Bluetooth,
Fantastic. My ass is tickled, but this is not the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
So then basically the MVP of this movie is a bottle of whiskey, because that throws everything out, right? Because, he was, it was like the power of the skull and the electricity that allows these things. And then the thing goes full on, like I don't need electricity anymore, or at least I thought, because I'm now possessed. I'm a big robot that's possessed, but a bottle of whiskey takes me out. That's fucking stupid. Come on, man. At least give me that.
You're right. You're right.
Just.
I mean, I'm with you. At that point, you don't need the skull anymore.
I know, but see, that's the thing. It's like, I get it. This is a Titan movie. You're not supposed to think too hard, but don't do things like that where you make me go, really?
Don't make us start thinking and then tell us to shut off our brain again. It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I just I think that's what it was. It wasn't like I was sitting there and I was like completely breaking the movie down and critiquing it, even though I could, because again, the acting was just so piss poor. Particularly we just finished talking about Demian Bichir, who is obviously very capable of putting on a fantastic performance.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe y'all disagree with me, but like I think he went the way of Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 84. He just went that over the top villain where I'm even going to turn around and monologue at the perfect time so I can meet my it was just so fucking bad. It's like they got a bunch of hack writers into a room and said, let's put this movie together real quick. And it was bad because I mean, like I said, I didn't love King of the Monsters, but I thought they were on their way to something cool. And I will agree that you need to see this movie on an IMAX screen. That's how I saw that one. And maybe that's why I liked it a little bit more. But I don't think that by watching this on a 55-inch screen, you're losing something, obviously. But now I'm paying attention to the humans, and I'm also paying attention to the bad writing. And I think that's what this movie. It was like I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously being super dramatic about it, and I'm totally kidding, of course. But it's like someone just trying to bullshit you to your face. You know what I mean?
It's like a sci-fi script where it's like you can write good dialogue. Really boring, just like, oh, come on.
You're
like,
trying to pass this off as something grand. And yes, you have the flash of the CGI and the big monsters and stuff. But when you really kind of step back and look at it, at least in my opinion, I just feel like you're trying to cheat me. And you think that I'm not smart enough to see that you're trying to cheat me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was telling Kova this as well. Like, the CGI on Godzilla and King Kong are great, but anytime you're in a green screen with the humans, you can tell. And that's whether you're on a 4K screen or in the theater, I'm sure you can tell when they're in front of a green screen. So it's just like, it seems like they spent part of their budget to get these big time actors that we know their faces, and instead of putting that money towards the CGI, because it's one thing if like all movies are like that because it's 2010 or 2007 and we're still trying to understand CGI and the green screen, but we're getting shows like The Mandalorian that looks like we're on fucking different planets. So you're telling me we can't make sound stages to at least look like we're on a fucking in Japan or something? It just like it's almost like they spend too much money on the actors, so we couldn't get the actual set that they're playing on to look as realistic as what we're seeing in the core of the Earth or with the monsters in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's one more thing that really kind of drove me crazy with this movie is what's the timeline from the first Godzilla to this one?
I mean, Kong's in the 70s, but
It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years.
Okay, it's been 3 years, Kova.
I thought it was 5 years. I was
okay. Let's tell you what.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Tell you what. Let's make it 10. Okay. What the fuck happened with the technology? Like who? Where did this all come from all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Like
for real.
Technology.
If they can make a Mechagodzilla, how come they can't make their setup waterproof?
They have tunnels to the core of the Earth.
Crazy.
The vehicles in the core of the Earth. The second time I was watching it, I was just like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, I called it out the first time. Like they all raced up the tunnels.
No. But it's not even that. The tunnels doesn't bother me. It's the fact that you have that type of vehicle, and I'm thinking, but you don't have technology for the other stuff going on with Godzilla,
right?
I'm so confused here. I was like, what? But then, Monkey destroys the flying thing, and I just went, oh, cool.
Well, it's an ape. Ape, not
yes,
monkey.
Yes, ape.
I honestly could keep on going. I just have one more point before I give it up to anyone else. But and I realize I'm being a little bit silly and petty here, okay? But it just proves how fucking terrible human beings are. Because think about this. Kong's we were talking about the universe, of course. So it's like, let's play around a little bit. So, they've domed Skull Island, right? And given Kong his own condo, right? And so he's nice and he's comfortable, and I'm sure he's temperature regulated or whatnot. And these assholes decide, hey, listen, I know how we can fix this. Let's go ahead and take Kong and put him exposed with no cover onto a ship that can't exist, because let's face it, he's as big as a goddamn building, right? But let's put him on this ship, and let's take him exposed to the sun, sitting in the rain, right? The kid's going to catch pneumonia. And then let's throw him into the Antarctic. What dicks? How big a dick do you have to be as a human being? I just thought that whole thing. And I realized, again, I'm being petty.
That's true.
Stuck in the Suez Canal.
Honestly, it's
at this point, yes, Brooke.
I promise you I'm not being all serious when I say it, but it's straight up animal cruelty. You know what I mean?
It was funny because they do that camera slide of him sleeping, and I was just like, that reminds me of Guests, where they don't get any blankets and they just have to do their own thing. And I'm like, someone give him a blanket. And then he's chained up, so when the ship goes underwater, he's dying, and it's like.
You can't sew a bunch of tarps together and give the kids some shade or something like that?
I mean,
I don't know.
You have one job.
Yeah, and clearly I'm just, picking apart little things like that. But it was just, I think my experience with this movie was I really wasn't expecting to be wowed outside of the visuals of it. But it's just sometimes the script just gets so silly and ridiculous when you really try to pay attention to it, particularly on a second viewing. I just felt kind of cheated is the best way I could put it. I know I'm kind of repeating myself.
No. I mean, it sounds like you came in really excited, and then you were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And also if I was, let's take Justice League out. Let's just say I was getting HBO Max for the spectacle that they have been making of this movie, Kong. With the trailers and everything, and Kong jumping up, which was a cool shot. Oh, by the way, another cliche thing that I'm sick of seeing are the two beams, the good beam and the bad beam fighting against each other. How many fucking times are we going to see that? We saw it on fucking WandaVision, and it's just always there. It's very, very cliche, and I just felt come on, man, give me something. Anyway, I could continue to do that, but I won't. I promise.
No, you're fine.
No, keep going.
Okay, another. No, I'm just.
On that note.
Yeah.
But Brooke, what about you? Is there any any scenes that stuck out to you? I'm honestly, I'm not going to be asking anybody what's your favorite scene, because nobody here is, besides Kova, is giving it a passable score.
Oscars. Which one would you choose?
This ain't making the Oscars. That's my response to my own question.
Okay, so what scene would they show at the Razzies?
Oh man. Okay. Oh damn, Brooke. Good. Oh, great question. What do you want to show at the Razzies? Okay, if it's the Razzies, it has to spoil the movie so you can see how great it is. So Mechagodzilla has to be in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, like, it's gotta be, like, not the moment that Mechagodzilla takes over, but at least where they're just, like, fighting him. And it's just, like, either that or the Martha scene. It's one of those two.
But everyone is expecting that scene. So.
Right, exactly. So maybe you're right. So just throw in the Martha scene and just get that out of the way. Be like, see? Now go watch the movie.
I saw a tweet that said they would rather it have been like a David Attenborough style, like kind of documentary, just, you know, no people, just a voiceover of him. And Godzilla stalks his prey, you know, and I thought, yes.
Oh my God, that would be better. Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Damn, that is better. Fuck.
Man. Oh.
All right, review's over. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, Brooke, is there anything else, any other scenes or anything you wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about yet?
No. I definitely think it would have been better if I had gone to see it in the theater, but I didn't want... If I go to the theater, Cindy's going to come to the theater because that's her favorite thing to do, which is fine. You know, we've had vaccinations. They do really good at separating people at our theaters.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to drag you and pay money for you to see this if it's going to be terrible. So I'm like, I'm just going to watch it at home. And so, you know, but I think it would have looked really cool. Come on. I thought Black Panther looked really cool on the end of the CGI was terrible on that. But you know what I mean? It's like, it still was more fun to watch it on the big screen, and I think this would have made it even more fun, even though it's not the same sort of caliber movie overall. But yeah, it would have been really cool. I think definitely IMAX. I think that would have been really great for all of the crazy fight scenes, and you know, to really get into the 80s action star portion.
No.
Yeah, so if you can go to the theater and see it, just do that. Don't pay. Don't worry about getting HBO Max if you don't have it to see it, because if you don't already have it, then there's not anything else on there that you care to watch.
Yeah, if you're a monster kaiju fan, you've already seen the movie, and if you're just like, what if, is it worth it, and you don't have HBO Max, no, just wait. But
hey, Steve.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I just wanted to. Can I make one more point real quick?
Of course, yeah.
It's not really a point, but I'm going to give the movie a compliment in the fact that when it comes to the fights, I actually enjoyed the Mechagodzilla stuff. Like, I enjoyed the whip ass that he put on Godzilla, where it made him look limp. You know what I mean? Like a rag doll throwing him around. I thought that was actually pretty good, and I could have seen more of that. But something more curious just came up right now, because I was going back and forth on IMDb, just kind of looking at the cast, and something just popped up that I really didn't even catch in the movie. So, excuse me, let me get over to it. Anyway, Serizawa. So Ken Watanabe plays Dr. Ishiro Serizawa in the last two movies, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, I apologize for the lag real quick. I just want to bring this up. Here we go. Shun Uguri plays Ren Serizawa. So is there some kind of, there's got to be a relation,
it's
right?
His son. Oh.
It's his son. Okay. So now I'm back to getting a little pissed off again, because if that's the case, they really did not do anything for that story arc, right?
Sorry. Can I just go real quick?
Please.
One thing.
Please.
I've seen a lot of things from a lot of journalists who interviewed the cast that even I forgot to mention when I gave one the story. Like, you can tell there's stuff missing from character stories, because when they interviewed the cast, the journalist said, like, there's more that they talked about than what the movie showed. Like, there's
we're getting the wingard cut.
Like, there was like I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of the ones for Collider who was saying like there was more story that I got from my interviews than I did from the movie.
So there was like a human movie and then like a kaiju movie, and then they cut it all up and put it together.
Yeah. So I don't remember the exact one, but like a lot of people were saying the same thing with that. Just like they felt like there was more missing from this. Because like even Isaac Gonzalez's character, we see her turn coming, but even then it's not well developed. But continue, Dan.
Oh no, that's pretty much about it. It was just I just didn't notice that, and I personally didn't really see any. Even if they said it was his son, I missed it, and I missed it twice. But I just didn't think that. Well, we kind of covered it. Like they clearly took some things out of the movie. So
I mean, they do in the other Godzilla Kong movies where I forget the guy, the guy who plays Dr. Dre in the Shit at Compton, like, you know, he's Hawkins. Yeah, he's killed in the second movie. Like, you know, unless you like know the names and everything, you don't know that's him 30 years later.
No, he doesn't die. No, he doesn't die in the Kong movie.
With Godzilla 2, what he dies in one of them.
No, but the old character version of him, played by Joe Morton, dies.
Right. That's what I mean, though. Well, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's just like, you don't know that Joe Morton's him unless you know their names. Like, it's the same thing. Like, you need to be deep in the lore of these movies to actually understand the connections. Yeah, no, but here's another thing. Like, I looked a breakdown for the character of that Dan just mentioned. Like, they have a whole breakdown of, instead of being like his father was, you know, to help the monsters become a part of this world and this and that, he was more against it, and like this whole breakdown of, I'm like, we didn't get that in the movie. All we got was just putting on, like, him introducing himself, putting on the thing on his head, and then he dies. Yeah.
Like, we didn't get that in the movie. Like, what are you talking about? So that's what I'm saying. Like the journalists on Twitter are saying, we got more story from the interviews than we did from the movie.
Wow.
So do you think that there's actually footage that they just cut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So then let's get the Wingard cut, man. Let's see what happens. Let's put the thing back together, because I'm kind of curious to see what they do with Martian Manhunter.
No, there is an article out that he says, we shot about 5 hours worth of footage, but this is the best cut that we got, he said.
Under 2 hours, because WB wants their movies under 2 hours now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's just going, COVID. That's what it is. That's my excuse. COVID.
I've got, I do have one more thing in my notes that I missed. I think they were like, okay, the end, Kong is going to go back home and it's going to be lovely and we need a nice, good song for it. And it's like, how much money do we have? We've got like 47 cents left after doing this. Well, what kind of songs can we get for that? And then they like just Google like songs about like the elements, and then they come up with a song from the Hollies. Like, and it's like, oh yeah, they haven't done anything in years. Of course, they'll take the money. They don't care if it's 57 cents. So yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It was an interesting choice of songs.
I'll say.
It's all I could afford. After all of this.
Anne, is there anything else you would like to add? Any last minute things, any scenes or anything else that we didn't cover that either you liked or didn't like?
I do like how you kind of are given a clear winner. I mean, it's still like a little muffled because, you know, his heart's just slowing down and then they revive Kong. But I do like how they were like, no, we're going to show you who wins here. I like that. I was like, okay, cool. Because I think in past things, it's always been like, oh, it could have been Godzilla, it could have been Kong, you know, based on how you looked at it. But I appreciate that. I'll give it that. I liked how it ended because I didn't have to watch it anymore.
Favorite part, the credits, because it was over.
So good. So well done. Yeah, that's really
I got
good.
everything I wanted out of those credits, which was the ending.
Yeah. See, I took it as like I took it as like, yeah, like Godzilla won that, but like at the it's so, yeah. I'm just annoyed because there's no end credits scene. They don't know what they're doing with this. It seems like they don't know what they're doing in this universe, and Kong is still not King Kong, right?
Supposedly
the like agreement contract or whatever they had ran out last year or something.
Oh, that's why it ended like this.
Yeah, like they wanted to do all this stuff, but now they're not real sure because, you know, yeah.
Because like I was for sure thinking Kong is going to win because we need King Kong. But then like the way it ended was like, well, you could say Kong didn't lose, but like he needed a lot of help from the humans with a defibrillator. So it's like, I understand that Godzilla's the winner, but it's like the movie definitely left it as like, there could be a sequel, but credits.
Do you think it'll be like Godzilla and Kong unite? You know, like the Avengers?
Buddy cop.
Yeah, I would be on board for that.
They'd have to at this point.
And then they bring in Mothra.
Hey, remember me? Yeah.
They're all like talking like Professor Hulk. Like they're all like super intelligent now and can talk. It's great.
I mean, like a Lethal Weapon kind of thing. Let's do it. I'm
halfway there.
Godzilla's like, I'm too old for this shit.
That's in the trailer.
And Kong's like, how dare you?
It is.
It was like that scene when Kong got stuck on the toilet. That was awesome.
I was gonna say that.
Don't let go of my hand.
Trying not to laugh because I wanted to say it with a straight face and I could not.
He can't find his reading glasses.
The only reason Kong wins because he has long arms.
You gotta see the size of that bathtub they jump in though when he gets pulled off the toilet.
Right? It's the size of a canal.
Actually, it was a canal.
All right, are we good with this movie?
The giant woolly mammoth.
That would not surprise me.
There's a woolly mammoth even bigger than these two.
Oh, you ain't seen shit yet, Brooke. You haven't seen shit.
I can smell more movies coming.
All right, anybody got anything else you want to add, or can we get out of here?
I'm good.
All right, then, yeah. So, again, our average for Godzilla vs. Kong is at 65% available to watch on HBO Max right now. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be talking about the new Netflix film with Idris Elba called Concrete Cowboy. We'll be right back.
Yo! There's a horse in your house.
Oh, that's you right here.
I ain't staying here.
All right. Once you step out, that door stays locked till morning.
50% of all cowboys were black. Even the Lone Ranger were black.
Who's the Lone Ranger?
Really? Harv, you teaching this boy anything?
The history here is deep. You like the Wild West out here.
I woke up to the morning sky first. Baby blue, just like we rehearsed. I know you. You Hop's boy.
When I get up off this ground, I should back down.
Your daddy got rules that you're not abiding by. Yo, what you doing?
You want to ride the street life? You can't be in my house. You want to wise up? You welcome back.
Welcome back to what? I ain't got no home here.
That's your choice.
All right, last or second to last. However, if you listen to the end, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this review we're going to be talking about is Concrete Cowboy, another new release that just came out this weekend on Netflix. That was released April 2nd, 2021. Concrete Cowboy is right now fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at 78% with 88 reviews, averaging at a 6.4 out of 10. Critics' consensus goes, well acted and solidly directed, Concrete Cowboy lassos old-fashioned uplift with its story of a father and son in a little seen corner of American culture. The audience is a bit higher at 83%, but that's with less than 50 ratings, averaging at a 4 out of 5. Synopsis goes, sent to live with his estranged father for the summer, a rebellious teen finds kinship in a tight-knit Philadelphia community of black cowboys. Again, this was released April 2nd, 2021 on Netflix. Written and directed by Ricky Staub, I might be mispronouncing this. And this is also his directorial debut. And Dan Walser also gets a written credit as well. Cast includes Idris Elba as Harp, Caleb McLaughlin as Cole, Gerald Jerome as Smush, Byron Bowers as Rome, Lorraine Toussaint as Nessie, Clifford Method Man Smith as Leroy, Ivana Mercedes as Esha, and Davini Young as Trina. All right. Brooke, starting with you. Out of 10, what are you giving Concrete Cowboy?
I like this, and it was interesting that it was like based on like true stuff. And so I gave it an 87, an 8.7, I guess.
All right, 8.7.
I was going out of 100 instead of 10. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. I do the same thing. You're good. So yeah, Brooke is at an 8.7. Dan, how about you? Out of 10, what are you giving the movie?
God, man, I've been thinking about it. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm just going to go 7.
All right, Kova.
That may change. My opinion has changed on the show before, but right now I'm at a 7.
Okay. All right. Kova, where are you? Are you at the famous, iconic Kova rating of an 8.5?
No. I'm actually at the same spot where Brooke is, 8.7.
All right, 8.7 from Kova. I'm right there with you. I'm at 8.6. And Anne, where are you?
I'm at 8.9.
All right.
Man, I'm an asshole today.
Dan, don't worry about it. That does bring our average to an 84%. Again, this is for Concrete Cowboy. It is available on Netflix. Brand new film that just came out. But yeah, so again, our average 84%. Brooke, back to you. Spoiler free. Is Concrete Cowboy worth seeing on Netflix?
Yeah. Oh, if you have Netflix, I think you should go ahead and watch it. I mean, it's Idris Elba, for heaven's sakes. But I think everybody did a good job, and there was a lot of people in the movie that are actually in the group that they're sort of, fictionally depicting. So that's really cool. Like they're, yeah, no, and it's also, I think, a cool, interesting piece of like history and present day things that go on that a lot of people, maybe that should be pronounced white people, don't know about. But a lot of people, just in general, people, I'd kind of heard about this, but didn't realize that it was in such a big city, you know? So, but yeah, I say you have Netflix, definitely watch it.
Yeah, Dan, you're at a 7, but you are tough on movies. If I would love to go through your ratings to see what your average would be on films in general. But yeah, you are at a 7, but it's a C-. It's still good, depending on what college you're going to. That's a passable grade. But
it was for me.
So let me ask you then, though, is that what this is? This is a passable movie for you? Like,
yeah, hear me out.
How are you looking at it? Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now. And if I know you listen to my show, Steve, so like sometimes I tend to go high on a lot of stuff. Yeah. And it's not that I'm really going low on this one because this.
Well, I mean, this is 3.5. Like that's still like right, and like it's still good for you because you on Heroes of Noise. I'm a big fan of your show. You guys do it out of 5. You do a creative out of. So what would you give this? Would you give this 3.5 horses?
Oh, you got me, man. I wasn't even prepared. I'll have to come back to it.
we
3 out of 5. Yeah, there you go. 3.5 out of 5 house horses.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing with this movie, and maybe I'm not really trying to be rough on it at all because it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
I think I'm more intrigued by the actual story. Like this movie's based on, what was it called? Compton Cowboys is what I was trying to say. And that's the whole story about the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club. And like there was like 100+ year history and how they've been there to keep, the city youth safe and out of trouble and trying to be productive in this society. I love all of that stuff. And you're right. It's like Idris Elba. You have a fantastic cast who all play their parts very well. I think my issue, I wouldn't even say it's a problem. I think my issue with this movie is that they kind of gave them a mediocre script. Like it's a good movie and I like the story and I like, even though it's a little familiar, I like everything that they did with it. It's just like these people did everything that they could with this script that just kind of, to me, fell a little bit flat. And the way that I judge that is I'm into the movie. I know what's going on. I'm paying attention to it, but for sure. But it's one of those movies where I keep going to my phone. And that's how I kind of go, okay, like I was really trying to watch this for the purposes of talking about it on your show and everything. But when I tend to go to my phone, it's usually like the movie's just bad or it's just like I'm not really digging the script. And in this case, that's really what it was. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't fantastic. And again, I think I'm a little more intrigued. I would have liked to have seen more about the history of the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club. I would have liked to have seen them kind of, spend a little more time with the characters. I really did appreciate the fact that they took some of the people from the actual riding club and put them into the movie, and they did fine by themselves as well. I loved all the stuff at the end where they were talking about the actual story of it. But it's just, I would have liked to have seen more of that, and I hope there's something like that. Like I can obviously read the book, but we were just talking about I have like a whole bunch of half-read books. So give me a documentary on this. I would like to see that. And but I do have good things to say about this one. So maybe I'm maybe I'm at like a 7.8. I'm not going to ask you to change, but my heart's feeling.
Tell me to change it. I'll change it. I don't care. I've done it so many times. I've changed the rating before. I think you have before. Like it's. Yeah. Listen.
Okay. Can I take a rain check until the end of the review?
Of course you can, Dan. Whatever. Awesome. It's your rating. It's whatever you want to call it. Ratings change after every viewing. It's just it is what it is.
Thank you, sir. That's good of you.
But I am curious though, because, I do know you and I am a listener of your show. Did you see this with your wife or any family members? Like, were you by yourself? Like,
I was by myself. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, so technically I was next to my wife, but she was not into it whatsoever. She was reading a book.
Okay. So there was nothing about where she was like, oh, and she looks up or something.
No, okay. When she reads, she reads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I more or less watched it by myself.
Got you. All right. Kova, you are at an 8.7. Your spoiler-free thoughts on the film.
I really enjoyed it. And for me, like, surprisingly, I didn't know the story of the movie. I didn't know anything. I didn't even see the trailer when it came out. This morning, I don't remember what time it was. I found this Twitter thread talking about the origin of the word cowboy, and it went down this whole thing of black cowboys, and that's where originally it was their term. Like, yeah. And
of course it is.
Whole thing. And yeah, and everything that we get in this film was in that thread that I read. So I read that, and once I started watching the movie and seeing the story being told, I was really engaged. I'm with Dan. I wish we could have gotten more of the history of that, because they say it there at one point, and I kind of put myself in Cole's shoe, just being the attentive listener of the group, because that's what I used to do as a kid, and just hearing stories and stuff. So I really put myself in his place, and I really enjoyed the story. There are some issues I have, despite giving it a high score. There are issues I have regarding his relationship with his dad. I think we could have seen more of that. Overall, like, I think that's something that is, because the whole movie it revolves around this cowboy club, horse riding and stuff, and the relationship that between him and his father, but I don't think they do enough. But there are some cool moments that they do hit at home, where I was just like, oof, like, damn. But I really enjoyed it. I think just having, just like, I remember, I think it was last year, no, the year before, the movie The Mustang.
Yeah.
Did a similar thing with, getting real prisoners who were in this, program where they train horses and clean them and all stuff like that. They got the real guys to be in the film, just like in this one. So like, I appreciated that. Like, and the fact that you don't know till the end of the film, it is so much better because like Dan said, like you see them and like they're actually really good because they're showing you their passion for real. It's not just some actor saying, yeah, I really like this. It's really cool. Horses. Woo. No, these are real people giving you their life story for you to experience. And I really liked it. Like, Gerald Jerome, he's a fantastic young actor. I kind of don't like that they put him in this type of role. I was hoping he'd be doing other stuff by now. After we saw with, him in, that, 4-part series, that Ava DuVernay did, When They See Us.
Is that where we know? I was like trying to I'm trying to figure out where he was from. Was like, is he from was he he's not the Stranger Things kid, right?
No. That's Caleb.
Okay.
That's Cole. Yeah. So, Gerald Jerome Smush. So like.
I'm thinking of, my bad. Okay.
Yeah. So like I was hoping he'd be a different type of role except the typical role that they would give a guy with a fabulous talent after you see him in that series. Like, damn.
Oh, you're right. That is who he is. Oh my God.
Yeah, because he gets that last episode all to himself.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, but like I said, I really enjoyed it. Like, there are some generic things to it, but overall, like, it's a really good story. I love the connection that, Cole gets with everybody around him and the horses and you kind of see his change go through the film. But like I said, for me, reading that thread before realizing what this movie was, like made it so much better for me. Like that thread, like I'm telling you, I don't remember what time it was. I woke up real early in the middle of the night and because I was having bad time sleeping and I just found it and I just started reading it, learning about where cowboy comes from. And it's like, yo, that was what they used to call, the slaves. And then I see it in this movie and I'm just like, wow, like this just made this movie so much better.
Yeah, they talk about it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So just reading that and then seeing it on film being talked about, it just really enriched it even more for me. And the ending is just like, I really thought was really great. So, I enjoyed the film and I definitely would recommend anyone to watch it on Netflix.
May I correct myself? Because I said something and I knew it didn't sound right when I said it. So I want to make sure that I'm at least giving the proper credit.
Yeah.
I originally had called the novel, I said Ghetto Cowboy, and I changed it to Compton Cowboy. It's actually Ghetto Cowboy. It came out in 2011. It's like a YA novel, but Compton Cowboy, for the record, or Compton Cowboys is basically another set of cowboys out in guess where? Compton. So I'm sorry, it just didn't sit right with me because I'm like, it didn't sound right. I knew I was saying misinformation there.
It's all good.
Nice.
No, you're fine, man. We got into it so fast. I completely forgot about my joke that I had planned for this, where I was going to be like, this is not the Lil Nas video, so you're in the wrong review. But I'm going to
the new one,
or any of them, because he likes his country music. So, it's just like, this has nothing to do with Lil Nas. But, that was my joke that I completely forgot about. But, I threw it in there as a poorly timed explanation. And, I'm just going to move forward with that. But yeah, no, this movie gave me vibes of White Boy Rick with a Bronx Tale, where it's just like you're getting a kid, his life in the ghetto of where he is. And I don't mean the ghetto as the derogatory stereotype version, but I'm talking about the actual, like, poor version of where you are in the city or in an actual area. And it's just, I felt it was very well told. But Kova, I think it's you. I think you said it best. the father-son relationship is barely looked at, and the movie begins as that's the catalyst. And then all of a sudden, you're dealing with this real life stuff, and they're trying to bring it into this movie. And it's not like you forget about the father-son relationship, but that turns into story B once you get into act 2. It's like all of a sudden you got this complete shift, and it's not like it doesn't come out of nowhere. The transition is almost like non-existent, but there's no denial at the end of the movie. You're missing the actual development of this father-son story you're introduced to. So I do think that is the biggest negative of the movie, because like I teared up a few times, and I definitely my mouth gaped when the credits rolled, and I don't want to get into any much with that stuff, but there's a lot of real stuff about this movie. And then when you realize what it is, and the credits rolled, and my mouth dropped. I was like, what? And it's just a real gasp moment for me, but it just made me want more, where I'm not I don't know if this could be a mini series or anything like that, but this was a great film, where it's just it opened up so much where I honestly didn't realize we were in Philadelphia for a while, where I'm where are we? Where are these horses? They're acting like they're in the streets of a city, but are we in one of the Dakotas or something? And it's just, you realize by no, it's Philadelphia, because they're talking about they're from being from Detroit and everything. It's just, where's the because there's traveling in the beginning of the movie. So it's just where are we? And then you realize you're in Philadelphia, and you're like, what? And just by the end of the movie, it's just I've turned into a huge fan of Westerns. I love Red Dead Redemption, the video game itself. So it's just this is a great film that is just it's so good. There's missed opportunities, and where this could have been a 2 hour, 15-minute movie, or even an extra 15 minutes on just the father-son experience. At least that's how I felt with it. But there's so many great parts with this, and I love my slice of life movies, and if young adaptations are done correctly, especially if you've been listening to us for the past 5 years. But man, this was really good the way they did it. But yeah, and you're actually the highest at an 8.9. So I got to ask, because you've only joined a few weeks ago, and you're getting acclimated to how you feel, what you think is the rating, because I always tell everybody your rating system is your rating system. I say it's out of 10, and we do it out of decimals, but I'll never tell you it's because of this or that. My rating is because I'll base it off of this, and I'll do it off of grades, because that's how I associate. But if you look at it differently, of course, that's how it is. So you're at an 8.9. What's stopping you from giving this an A-? Why is this not a 9 out of 10 for you?
It's actually what you were mentioning in terms of the father-son relationship. And I did read some reviews afterwards, and they mentioned that too. I really wanted to know more about the father. We have these this isn't a spoiler, but you just have little moments where, he plays a record and talks about the song and why he's playing it. And you get these little moments where you're just more, tell me more. Why are you the way you are? Why did you split from his mom? I definitely wanted more. And also, the screenplay, it wasn't terrific. And for me, what I found kind of interesting, and just, I love researching things. So, the screenwriter for the film, I just find it interesting that he's white, whereas the story and the author is black. So I thought it was kind of interesting how he would handle that dynamic. And the first scene where I kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, oh God, is this a white person? The scene where, and again, I'll try not to do spoilers, but where Cole meets up with his friend and they're just throwing the N-word around, kind of like Tarantino, where you're like, dude, calm down. Like, I get it. And it's just like, I know kids talk like that, but I was just like, that was kind of,
because nobody else is talking like that. All of a sudden you're getting with the young kids, and it's just like, are you trying to show a different generation, or it's just more of like...
I have one thing to say around that.
Of course.
It's when you hang around with a certain group of people that speak a certain, like, you tend to go back to that a lot. Like, if I were to go hang out with my friends who I've known for 15, 20 years, there would be some words I would say that I would normally wouldn't say on here. So it's very difficult. Like, and I get what you're saying. Like, saying that word, but it's sometimes difficult because when you're in that group, like, it's normal conversation when you've grown up speaking like that for so long. So
yeah,
right. Just, like, I do understand that.
Yeah,
like,
it's different for me and Ann where we just have never said the word.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm around kids. Like, I understand there's, like, and that's fine. But for me, I'm always very cognizant of if it's a white writer taking a story from
the privilege
this black author, and I still like a lot of the issues and themes that he tackled, and I think he did that very well. But of course, that was just the first thing where I was just like, like, I get it, but at the same time, it was just like, and this and that and that. I was like, oh, okay, even kids don't say it like 3 times in a row. It was just too much for me. So I was like, but I think that just goes hand in hand with the script. I just thought it could have been a little better. And yeah, I wanted to learn more about the father. But other than that, I absolutely loved this movie. I might be a little biased because I love horses and I grew up riding them. And so for me, I was really surprised by the rating at first. It's rated R. And as I was watching it, I was like, this is kind of like a family drama movie. Like, I could see myself watching this with, like, Fly Away Home, or like that Anna Paquin movie with the geese or whatever. Like, just seeing a kid not knowing what to do, getting in trouble, their parents being like, I'm going to send you away somewhere. It just felt like kind of that family film, save some parts. But I just really loved it. And the moments with Cole and the horses, I thought it was just really well done. And of course, I love learning more about history. And I kind of knew just from talking with other horse friends, just the whole history of black cowboys. And again, just we're learning more every day, but it's another example of history that hasn't been shown to us. So I love movies that do it like this, where they give you enough for you to go off and do your research. And I just love that. So, the fact that they kind of prompt that for people and talk about this amazing organization and having the people. I mean, yeah, I teared up definitely. And I believe they're still around. You can donate today. They do have a website, the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Stables. They're still there. I mean, we don't know how long it's going to be there, but I just think it's such a great organization. And of course, they filmed it right there. So it's just amazing thinking, okay, I'm going to walk down the street in Philadelphia, and you turn a corner and it's just like a ranch. So I just, I really loved this movie.
The field, like across the street where they filmed a lot of stuff, like that was the place that they did a lot of training and teaching and stuff. But, the city allowed the housing authority to buy it for $1. So they're going to build an old folks, like a senior living center, on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But they do have a website, so people want to try to follow up. Yeah.
I read this, I was reading this article in Time magazine about it online, not like a paper magazine. What is this? 1994.
What are those?
I'm kidding. But
she saw it on a microfiche.
Yes. I worked at a library. I've gone through a lot of those. So there's a good article on Time because I was wanting to see kind of what was going on with them now, because this was filmed a year or two ago, and then they had all the stuff of moving around and everything, and I wanted to find out more. So, and not have to read a whole book or something. I wanted quick gratification before doing this podcast to see if there was anything I can contribute. And there's pictures of some of the different people, like some of them you've seen in the movie, and some of them you haven't, and then like some videos and stuff of different writers and everything, and it's really cool. So anyway, Time Magazine, y'all, check it out.
It exists
online.
Yes.
Yeah. So our average is at 84%. Again, this is available on Netflix. Go check it out. Definitely worth the watch. It's definitely different from what you might expect, especially from the name. Nothing related to Cocaine Cowboys or any other type of cocaine or cowboy type of movie. So, just the concrete Cowboys, and you'll find out why.
I keep calling it Concrete Jungle.
What is that from?
Great song.
It's just New York City. Just Concrete Jungle.
Right. Yeah, I've had a couple of drinks.
And a
like
song.
Concrete Jungle. Now I sound stupid. Great. Okay. Anyway, moving forward. Full spoilers.
It's your show, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not editing that out. And sticking with you, full spoilers. Yes, you are a huge horse lover. Anything you want to talk about first, especially with the horses?
I don't know. I don't know. I love the scene where Cole first meets the horse Boo, or whenever he's trying to run away from the cops, and I loved that scene so much, because first of all, I mean, yeah, I'm used to horses, but they are scary. You do have to respect them, and like, you do have asshole horses. And so I just love that quiet moment between Cole and that horse. And I just loved it so much.
I love that part too. Like everybody wants to be that person that the horse doesn't want to get along with anyway but you. Everybody wants to be that person. So it's just like when you hear that, like when everybody's acting like, oh no, that's your horse now. Like nobody's been able to go into that for months. Like you actually slept in there and he didn't kill you. No, he's yours. Like I loved that. Oh.
Similarly, on the break, Anne was talking about that's how she came in contact with her cat when it was a kitten. That like the same sort of thing. Because cats are always planning to kill you anyway. Yeah, horses necessarily can just accidentally kill you or purposely kill you. Yeah,
right. But with a cat you never know. With a horse you can read them. They're like, oh, today's that day. Cats, you're like, I don't know. Do I pet you? Do I not?
You were nice a minute ago.
Right, but it's that thing of being chosen, and it's just like, man, that makes you feel so special. But that also reminded me of other family dramas. Just like, I just loved it. I just like, if I ever have kids, I definitely want them to see this. With some scenes edited.
Depending on the age, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Don't worry.
Depending on the age, yeah.
And you're fine.
I'm not saying
no one's having kids. We're fine. Yeesh. Yeah, no, this movie I think was just really smart. I didn't know anything going into it, so like you get the whole like just like you get the beginning with like the mom's like, nope, I'm done with you, and you're like, are you really done with him because he's an adolescent, or are you done with him because he's an actual problem? And then you get her speech and you're like, oh fuck. And it's just like, man, there were some great parts where it's just like, I don't know, for me, Smush, like him dying, like I thought he was going to get, like, honestly, I legit thought because they brushed death so many times, I thought he was going to get caught with the police and something was going to go really wrong with Cole. So the fact that like when we get that corner scene, I'm thinking this is where Cole gets picked up and he goes to jail for like 20 years or whatever. But no, this is actually Smush's death scene. I'm just like, oh fuck. So they still got me.
I knew that was. I feel like we all kind of knew that was going to happen.
I mean, obviously, not. I don't know. I mean,
it still sucked when it happened.
It was just.
when you learn more about like what he's doing with his money and how he's saving it so he can get a farm, so I was like, oh, he's gonna die. I can't do this. But
he was also running away from his problems instead of helping them where they were helping people.
See, and I was expecting that he was gonna survive, go to prison, and then like the movie would end with like them at like the phones at prison, and he's like, don't be me, or whatever. So like I was going with that route because they brushed death so like the guy shows up at the dealing at one point, throws him in the trunk, he jumps out and everything, like holy shit. And it's just like, so I'm like thinking like, all right, we're probably going to see like a Justified scene or whatever. I don't know if anybody's seen that series, but I'm expecting something like that at the end of the movie. So when you get the actual like gunshot, like the guy just rolls up on Smush and he's dead, I'm legit like Cole, like, oh fuck, he's dead. Like, oh, I felt for the kid. I'm just like,
no, that's fucked.
Yeah, but Dan, what about you? Hearing all of us talking, are you sticking with a 7 or is it like what scenes do you want to talk about? Like what's when you hear Concrete Cowboy, what do you want to talk about?
See, here's the deal, man. Like I'm listening to you guys talk and you're all making perfect sense, right? Like I don't hate this movie. I don't dislike this movie.
Yeah.
But you guys keep saying something that's making me go, yeah, I'm cool with my rating. And it's not bad. It's just you keep going, it left me wanting more. I wanted more. You know what I mean? And I equally wanted more. There was more, like you take these great actors. What is his name? Jarrell Jerome? That's his name, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen what he can do. You know, we've clearly seen what Idris can do. And I'm actually quite surprised. I'm pleased with the acting of Caleb McLaughlin. He's actually really
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
I love him.
He's great. But this script was just a little flat for me. That's the thing. It's like, it's just, I feel like I freaking say this a lot. I don't mean to, but it's like this one I really had just seen before. Like when he got there, you know, you start off with a very familiar plot of the kid's in trouble in the inner city and he's going to go to another part to go live with his dad. He's out there. He meets his friend. That could be trouble, right? He's probably trouble. You know, but he's his good friend. He's got him. And then there's always like the drug dealer kind of thing. And then, you know, it's the estrangement with his father. And you got the neighbor that I forget her name, but it's like, you know, take any movie that's like that. It's like, yeah. Take any movie that's like that. And I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this. Like I'm being serious. Like take any movie that's like that. And you got the neighbor that's like, you know, I'm going to give you little words of wisdom. You should listen to your father because, you know, there's that character. And it's just I saw exactly where it was going to go every step of the way. And to me, that was a disappointment. But like I wanted more, too. Like I think that they I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just a matter of like, this is what you get. This is the best I can do or whatever. But you take these characters, you take these actors and you take this real life situation. There was a lot more story to tell. Like it was what was it? Like 2 hours, right? Like 1 hour and 58 minutes or something like that. And I felt like it could have really spent a little more time. I don't know exactly if it needed to be a longer movie. Maybe that's the case, but I wanted more character building from it. You know what I mean? So,
I agree.
But when it comes to like, you know, scenes that I liked, I agree. I really liked the whole scene. You know, not since Harry met Buckbeak have I seen a more moving scene than when he, you know, you know what I'm saying? Somebody get that, right? Not since then have I seen a more moving scene of like, you know, taming an animal. And I'm being an asshole when I say it, but I do like both scenes. I'm being legit when I say that. You know, I liked that. I love to see the breakthrough in a movie like that where you were, you know, the taming of an animal and that bonding. That's a I don't know. That's just like this interhuman thing that makes us feel good when we see that kind of thing. Maybe except for Kova, who apparently has no soul with the animals and stuff like that. But
true.
I'm just kidding, brother. But I don't know, specific scenes. The whole thing just, it was, like I said, I was looking at my phone a lot and I apologize for not being like super specific about things, but I just sort of took the whole movie in stride and just, again, it just found me wanting more. So there wasn't any particular scene that I'm grasping onto except for, and I mean, change my mind, like say something, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. But that scene where he bonded with Boo was actually very special. And I like the way that everyone like interlocked and they all, you know, they knew what to do. And it was almost like a rite of passage for him. His dad, Harp, knew that this is something, he knew that like that was his horse. And that's why he let them do that. And I just, that was his one way of like helping to get his son to like sort of flip his whole mind script and maybe not go the path that Smush was going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that's what you're asking as far as like my favorite scene, that probably was it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like just thinking of scenes in general, like I was I was with Smush, like the one Smush like said like, your mom's not coming back. I was legit thinking like, all right, he's stuck here. Like the mom's not returning. And then when she does return at the end, I broke. I was just like, oh my God, she came home. Like Smush was wrong. I just felt so happy. And then like the fact that like even Cole was just like, Mom, this is my horse. Like he wasn't even mad. It was just like, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, because he changed. He changed he flipped his attitude, and that's what it was about. So it's a sweet story. It really is.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's like a family drama. Like that, it should be rated differently because it tells that story that we're all familiar with. So I think that kind of hurts it, making it R, because this really could be like a family drama.
Well, it's got language and then, smoking various things. And then, the kid gets killed, but it's like you don't actually see it. You just, you know what I mean? Like, it's way worse letting your kids watch Endgame or something. You know what I mean? Like, I love superhero movies, but they're pretty rough. They just don't have hard language, and I just don't understand why one is worse than the other. Just don't let these things teach your kids. You teach your kids. Anyway.
But make them watch good movies.
You got to give props to Method Man. Like I think
he was the cop, right? Leroy. He was
choosing some interesting.
He was good.
He popped up, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Method Man.
Yeah,
I was
got
so
meth and a cowboy hat. That was dope.
He was really good. Like at the end when he's like, I'm making sure you guys aren't dumbasses. I'm like, yeah.
He does not age.
Yeah,
not at all.
Black don't crack.
Genes from the gods.
Yeah, and I love to see him show up places. He's wonderful.
That was a surprise. A pleasant surprise.
Yeah, he really does better than I think. Well, I'm not saying anyone doesn't give him credit for it, but like he tends to surprise me when he's on screen. You know what I mean? Even if it's like a silly role. There was one he was in, and I can't remember what it was. It was recent too, but I just watched so much stuff where he was like a detective, I think, and he was like in direct competition with someone that was also a detective. Anyway, I can't remember, but that was it tells you how much I like the movie, right? But no, but seriously, like I enjoyed him in that too.
So you remembered him. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I just I had fun in the 90s, and I don't remember right now. That's really what's going on. But,
it was a 90s movie.
Like, okay, he's actually really good, and I look forward to seeing because his career is now shifting. Like Wu-Tang's done for the most part, unless you count reunion tours, and I don't really see him putting out too much solo music. So why not hit the acting and take the second half of your career in stride and do something with that. He's got the chops to do it. So, and I don't think that we've seen his best work yet.
Interesting.
Yeah. Brooke, is there anything you'd like to add for spoilers? Any scenes or characters that you want to discuss?
No. I liked seeing the horses. I thought everybody did a good job acting. It's not like when I watched The Ring the first time and the horses went over the edge of the thing and I screamed.
PTSD, thanks. I forgot about that.
Sorry.
No, but you're right.
Yeah, it was nice to see, crazy horse stunts, even if they're not real. You know what I mean? Like, it was nice that it was
the horses were amazing.
They were therapeutic animals, and they were being, respected, and, and we were learning history. Like, there was a lot of good stuff, but I totally agree that there could have been more, to it. I don't know if it would have been sprucing up some of the script or if it would have been 5, 10, 15 more minutes. I'm not real sure. But yeah, I would have liked a little bit of more of all of it, really, honestly. And I love the part at the end during the credits when it had the real people. There were so many good things about this. It just barely fell short.
Oh, the ending is what brought my rating from probably a flat 8 to damn it, I already forgot, 8.7 or Yeah, 8.6, because like all of a sudden we cut to the first guy who was in the wheelchair, and you see in the credits, like in the bottom right corner, that he's a real person from the actual club.
Not
and you're like,
yeah, he had a great scene too.
And you're like, holy shit. And then like we get the next girl. She's also one. Like there's like 3 or 4 of them where it's just like, no, these are all people from the club. And I was like, my jaw, like I gasped. I was like, because like I remember like thinking about their scene specifically, like, wow, they are really good. I hope I see more of them because I don't know who they are. Like, you know, when he's like, pick up the shit, like they're like, this guy sounds like he just like seems like, it just seemed like this feels real. And then when you realize he is the guy that probably did, I'm just like, what? Like it just like blew my mind, where I'm just like, holy fuck. Like not only is this real, like this is so current that these are the people involved with it, where it's just,
hey,
wow.
do you think his story's true? Because they did ask him about that.
I was
100%.
Fill you all in that. Okay, so it says they're in this Time magazine article. They're talking to, I don't know, I guess the director, Staub. Is that who it is?
Yeah, Rick Staub or Ricky Staub, yeah.
And he said, because it just says his last name in this thing, it says, the stories that he tells as Paris loses his brother is the story of what happened to him and his brother. I would tell him, just be present and in the moment and say what comes to your heart when you're retelling the story of your brother. And it was really beautiful to watch.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to make me cry again. Because it's just, oh, God.
I mean, the scene felt real.
Why this needs to exist still. You know what I mean? Why would they need to have something like this in the city? Because it just keeps kids from doing things like that. And you're seeing people that have learned from their mistakes trying to help out. And it's a real shame if that ever goes away.
And also in this article, Ivana Mercedes, who plays Esha, she says, Esha herself is my story. This is the only movie that I've ever seen that focuses on black cowgirls and cowboys. It means the world to me to be able to have my debut as an actress and also to be telling a story that is so close to my heart. Like, representation matters, people.
Yeah.
And
she was great, too.
Very specific representation. But yeah, she was great.
Yes. Yeah. That was, Again, and I told my mom, I just saw her, I told her to watch it. I just like, I'm probably going to tell everyone I know. Like, I just really, it just has a lot of stuff. But what kept me at the 8.9 were just, I think everyone was touching on it. You just wanted more. So that's why I kind of gave it, I was thinking of like 9 something, but definitely more.
Yeah. Kova, what about you? Full spoilers, you're at an 8.7. Anything else that you'd want to talk about? Anything in the, any scenes we haven't discussed yet that you want to go over?
The scene that I really enjoyed is when after they got the horses back and Harp had told Cole he needs his last ride, and then you get that scene of all of them coming down the street riding together, and then you see Method Man in the back too, and because he's agreeing with them, maybe a part of the law, but I'm with you guys. And I really like that they all still come together despite them being on different parts of life. One's a cop now and, and all that stuff. But just seeing that, that just shows, that to me showed how united these people are and how close-knit community they are. Whereas, you don't see that too often in that many places. Especially right now, everybody's just hating on each other.
Especially in cities. That's why it's just so surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, that, and another scene was when they're sitting all together and, you hear how Hollywood whitewashed the Cowboys. And that, like I said, hearing that story, them talking together around the fire, just got me back thinking about that thread and everything they said. And I was like, that's all true. And just like I said, that Twitter thread that I read, I don't know how I found it. I just found it as I was going through it and just reading the history of the cowboy, where there was Western Africans who knew how to plant rice and do things. And when they were enslaved, they were brought here and they would call them cowboys. and that's where it originated from. And I was just like, wow, like, and then I'm seeing it on the film, like, yeah, the first cowboys were black. They weren't white. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I read this just a few hours ago. I was like, and it just like that whole scene of just, Cole sitting there reminded me of me whenever my dad and family and friends were drinking, and, you know, you're always the young one just sitting there attentive, listening to the stories, and you're just like, whoa, like stuff from the past that you probably never experienced, but like you could see in Cole, like he was just like, tell me more. Like this is stuff I never knew about, because it's true. Like I didn't know that the word cowboy originates from South Carolina, not from the Old West.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like what this movie basically told us, and if you're subscribed to our Patreon, you would know a little bit more as well. But Tombstone lied to us, Kova.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. If you need more understanding on that, our first ever blind spot movie is Tombstone, where I thought both Kova and myself had never seen the movie, but it turns out it was just me, but it's still a great review, so go check it out.
But yeah, and like I really enjoyed those small moments. I love the moment where, you know, oh man, like I started to like tear up when he's like, why do you hate me? And I was like, yo, he doesn't hate you.
Oh, that was one of my favorite moments when he did that. I broke. I was like, oh, I feel you, kid. Like the whole movie showed it.
Sorry, did anyone else get reminded of that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah. Oh, immediately I was like, Will, where's Will? Like, oh my god.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then Harp goes into that whole of how he gave him his name.
Still a shitty answer. Like, I need more. Like, you left.
Oh yeah.
Like, we still don't know why you were arrested and why you became this good quote unquote cowboy.
But he's telling you, shit. I used to be just like Smush.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong, Kova. Kova, you're not wrong. I'm just saying, like, just as myself out of anger, it's like you still you still owe so much more to Cole.
Give him more scenes.
Yeah, I completely get that, but like I just love that moment where he tells him his name and they sit together and like he I wish they could have just done a little bit more with that scene of them just telling like that. I wish, but I love that moment though of him going into detail about how he gave him his name and why he had to leave. And I really enjoyed that. That was really great for me. And like I said, just that conversation of all these people talking together about their experience. The fact that we're hearing them talk and like the whole time we're hearing these people tell their experiences in that moment, I'm just like, wow, that's really fucking great. Like, and the fact that we're able to do it so seamless, like they were veteran actors is even more amazing. And I really enjoyed their stories. Like, I wish, like Dan said, we could have gotten a documentary about these people's club and everything. So, cause like they don't.
Maybe if enough people watch this, someone will make a documentary.
I mean, hopefully Netflix picks up on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, a really great story. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, they do some generic stuff, but overall, like it still does what it needs to do as a story. You know. Give the main character his life experience and, you know, learn from it.
Yeah. There are some just great moments, the way it's shot, the way, like, you know, you feel like you're like, even when he's like dropped off and his mom can't unlock the door and he's like, Mom, and he finally goes, Mommy, please. And she just drives off. Like, they do such a great job at making you feel so out of the car when you've been in the car for like the past 10 minutes. Of just the montages and her going, I can't do this anymore. Or maybe it's just 5 minutes, but it feels like 10. And then you get there and he gets out and it's just like, he's got these 2 garbage bags and like, come on, Mom, are you seriously? He's like, yeah. Like, would you think this was a joke? And she just drives off. It's just, what a powerful scene. And it's just.
And again, Caleb, the actor.
Yeah.
Like if they had anyone else, I don't know. Oh yeah, it was just so real. It was like you're watching a real person going through something.
And the mom, like, I like that they had the whole thing where she'd like lock the door and she made sure the windows were rolled up. Yeah. She just had to drive off because she was going to get emotional and she did not want to do that because she knew driving back to Detroit, like Philadelphia and Detroit aren't like next door neighbors. You got to go through some states to get there. Yeah. So
very palpable, the feelings in it, which is hard to do. It really is.
There's some great moments. So wait, Anne, who's whatever. So Dan, do you have anything else you want to add for Concrete Cowboy?
No, I would say that I would recommend, 4 out of 5 movie heads say it's great, so I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, right. I've already kind of given my reasons, and I certainly don't want to even appear like I'm bashing this movie. No, just like Dan, you said, you left you wanting more. It's certainly the same thing for me, but I'm hoping that what's really cool is that, talking directly to the people that are listening to this podcast right now, you've had some insight now. So hopefully that'll actually, sort of brighten the movie experience for you. And I hope that, you like it even more now. So, maybe I'll go back and watch it again, but I'm just so intrigued by the actual story. And, it left me wanting to know more about that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, you have the book, right? I think, it kind of prompts you to do your own research if you want, but I mean, I hope they do make a documentary.
I was also noticing that there's a, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there's an NPR, that podcast, This American Life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the episode. I don't see it, but they apparently do an episode about that. So if you're more interested, check that out. I certainly will be doing it. Here's the thing. And I was like wanting to say it, but it's like, I'm not doing it to be contrary when I say it. I think it's just that when you have, again, when you have such great actors, like challenge them, and without trying to sound like, well, it's not offensive. It's just that I've sort of seen 100 smushes before. Yeah. You know what I mean? In movies. So it would have been nice to have some more depth particularly when you have an actor like Jarrell Jerome who really knows how to sell it.
You're just expecting more depth in general.
In general, yes. Yeah. It's kind of like getting like you really want to get a certain car, right? But you're only able to afford like the base model. So you're not getting all the perks of everything, all the other packages. I want the packages, man. That's what it is.
And like for me, I've never seen this actor before, so this is my first.
Wait, you've never seen When They See Us?
When They See Us.
Oh, I saw the documentary years ago. I don't know.
No, the movie, the limited series.
No, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He hasn't done much. He hasn't done much else, so it's only those two, I think.
See, that documentary, I imagine, is even heavier than what the movie would do. But it's like, they do such a good job of, conveying that story.
Oh, yeah. And, I have to, it's definitely something I want to emotionally prepare myself for.
For sure.
That's on my list. And thanks for reminding me. I got to put that up.
It's a great showcase of young actors, so it's definitely worth it.
Yeah,
thank you.
The final episode is Jarrell Jerome's, and he just breaks your heart.
Damn.
What happened? Yeah, it just
if you know the story already, and you haven't seen the actual Ava DuVernay series, then this is definitely that. Like you need to. I think that's how he's found, is because of that series.
He won. I don't remember. I think it was a Golden Globe for that part.
Really?
If he didn't win, he was nominated. Like he was definitely in the circuit.
No, I think an Emmy. I'm sorry, I think it was an Emmy.
Oh,
that he won for that. I'm not 100% sure, but I know he won an award for that, and everybody just went crazy because out of that whole series, he was the only one that won anything, like the series, and everybody else was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No, Ava DuVernay and everybody else got snubbed to the point where nobody was even nominated, and people were like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Well, I think even though the story's true, I think the writing really had a lot to do with that particular episode. I was just going to say, and being that you've seen the documentary, it's totally cheating. But if you want to know more about Jarrell Jerome or just see what he's capable of, watch that 4th episode. It's amazing. I think it's 4th episode. It's amazing.
I mean, he's in all 4. He's the only kid that actually plays the same character because while time changes and shifts, they use him the entire time. because he's like 18 when he gets arrested anyway.
Oh.
So they use him for the entire, all 4 episodes, where the other 3, or sorry, the other, what was it, 5? The other 4 are actually like grown. He is the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you for letting me know about that.
Yeah, but it's on Netflix, and it's definitely like some of Ava DuVernay's best work that she's done in years.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Just gotta do it.
Power through.
I got this. But yeah.
But Kova, anything else you'd like to add for Concrete Cowboy?
A really, really good film. I highly recommend, and I look up history. Like they said in the middle of this film, look up the real history. Like if Watchmen didn't do enough to tell you about the Lone Ranger, then I don't know what to tell you. This will definitely get you thinking about, like, wait, what?
Shit, if Lawrence Fishburne didn't make you understand what gerrymandering was in what's it called? Oh wow, now I'm even blanking on that. Was it not Boys in the Hood? Then this movie will definitely show you what gerrymandering can be, because, you know, what side are you taking? Are the horses malnourished, or is it just an actual?
You mean gentrification?
Oh, what did I say? Gerrymandering? Sorry.
I mean, gerrymandering helps with gentrification, but yeah.
I'm sorry. I was getting confused between the two. What should I should be saying?
Gentrification.
Gentrification. Okay. Well, that's what I really mean then, because that's what it feels like by the end of this movie. It's like, You might be right. The horses might be malnutritious, because by the end of the movie, they're literally like in the 1800s, were on the side of the road. So, you know, are they, or is this more of like your excuse of saying they need to be moved, but they were actually fine until you until you said they had to be moved, and now it fits your story. So.
In that Time article, it said that really happened, and then they quietly took them back to the stable once their vets checked them out and found out that they were okay. And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is gentrification then.
Yeah, and I was going to say, these are people who know horses in their blood. These are like families who know horses. So I think they would not allow them to be malnourished. I mean, these people, even in... I forget the character, but he was like, yeah, my paycheck goes here. I barely can eat myself.
I love that the one guy says to, like, the guy that's taking the horses, my horse eats even better than you. Right. And then, like, you know, calls him something because he's fatter. Or whatever. I'm like, oh, yes. I mean, that's probably true.
Yeah. It's definitely gentrification.
Yeah. Sure. Then, I like, first off, Brooke, thank you for the clarification. And also, then, this is what it is then, because
honestly,
it's pretty fucked up
it's
then.
Close
like,
enough.
This is what Lawrence Fishburne was talking about 30 years ago in Boys in the Hood then. There's no difference. It's just, there's horses involved, and that's the county's way of saying, how can we get them out? Well, if we send this really good-looking journalist to say there's malnutrition, and nobody's going to say anything else because she's really good-looking, she can type up whatever she wants.
Yeah. And it's also, this is supposed to help the community, and maybe they don't want that. And maybe they want...
Well, do they mean help the community by getting the horses out, or helping the community by making sure the horses are malnutritious? Or nutritious? Am I saying that? I don't know. I've had a couple of drinks.
I don't even know.
Nourished.
Are the horses
malnourished?
Malnourished. Thank you, Brooke.
There we go.
See, Brooke, this is why you're here. It's not, but thank you.
Thank God.
No, because I love you, but I don't have all the time in the world to fix your pronunciation.
How dare you say that I say things wrong in general? But yeah, you're right.
What if we hire you? I think I might need to hire you.
Okay.
Well, that's on you, Ann. I'm not. Yeah. Brooke, I love you, but we're in a pandemic. No, I'm kidding.
Just blame COVID. That's all you got to do. COVID. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, this might work. If my grammar helps out, then Brooke, I don't know. We'll talk. Either way, I'm always going to make.
You just get all excited about this stuff.
Listen, I just want to better myself in life.
Don't we all?
I don't know.
Steve, as someone who is constantly corrected on his own podcast, I feel for you, sir. Yeah. I'm with you. I raise my fist to you.
Did I say enough, Brooke? Are we good? I only say this because I know, Brooke, we're good. But I'm just like, anyway, let's move forward. So, Kova, anything else you would like to add for Concrete Cowboy? I'm a cowboy.
We just did this.
Oh, we did?
You just asked me this.
Oh, we're all done?
Would you like to do it again?
Fantastic. No, I just want to make sure. I thought we weren't done. All right. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Our average for Concrete Cowboy was at 84%. We're all done. For next week, let's see. Oh, that's right. Seen It Movie Reviews is taking a break next week. We will not be here. I have to go out of town for the first time in years. So we will not be here next week. But if you are a subscriber to our Patreon, you will still get 3 episodes out. So it's like we never left if you subscribe to Patreon. So just remind everybody, for $7 a month, you'll be VIP and you'll get everything we ever upload to our Patreon. And that is the minimum of 7 episodes of movie reviews. So it's $1 an episode, as I said earlier in this episode. So don't forget, Patreon is definitely worth it. But again, in case you forgot, the Patreon next week will be Back to the Movies episode 3, covering most of Act 2 and the beginning of Act 3 of Tenet. We'll also be doing the second episode of The Blind Spot, reviewing Almost Famous. Either Kova or myself or the both of us have never seen that movie, so find out which one of us have never seen it and hear our review of it. And our premium movie review for the week will be Greenland, featuring damn it, what's his face?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
Gerard Butler.
that motherfucker. We'll be talking about another one of his movies. Greenland, the Greenland is downed, or the White House is up, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we're covering that for our premium movie review. Yeah, so thank you everybody for listening. And, Dan, where can everybody find you? That doesn't matter. We talked about it earlier. Ha ha. All right.
Okay,
until next time.
I'm happy to say it again, but
no, we will. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
I don't really like cocaine. I just like the way it smells.
How did you find me?
You were in my path.
You know, one might wonder how someone like you came to be in this place. I'm not running from anyone. I'm not hiding. I'm here because I choose to be.
If it's all right, I will teach you how to trap. And in the fall, to hunt. And then you won't see me anymore.
Can we agree that you not bring any news of life elsewhere?
What if aliens land here?
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Premium Movie Reviews. I'm Spoiler Steve, and with me, as always, the Joker to my Batman. Hello, Kova.
Hola. How are you?
What is up? Doing good. We're here talking about the newest release, one of the newer releases on PVOD, starring Robin Wright. But we are not alone. Joining us, returning from last week. Welcome back, Brooke.
Hi.
And also,
I know people are so excited to hear me again.
Of course they are. It's always great having you on, Brooke. That's why you're back.
More teeth talk.
Yeah. And we also have, returning back from a couple weeks ago, welcome back Dan from Heroes of Noise.
What's happening, everyone? Thank you again for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about the new movie on premium VOD called Land. This movie is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at 70% with 144 reviews, averaging at 6.6 out of 10. Critics' consensus: Land's lovely vistas can't compensate for a hollowness at its center. Audience disagrees, and it's a bit higher at 84%, with more than 250 ratings, averaging at a 4.25 out of 5. Synopsis goes, from acclaimed actress Robin Wright comes her directorial debut, Land, the poignant story of one woman's search for meaning in the vast and harsh American wilderness. Edie, played by Robin Wright, in the aftermath of an unfathomable event, finds herself unable to stay connected to the world she once knew, and in the face of that uncertainty, retreats to the magnificent but unforgiving wilds of the Rockies. After a local hunter, played by Damian Bisher, brings her back from the brink of death, she must find a way to live again. This was released wide in theaters on February 12th, 2021, and was then released on premium VOD March 5th, 2021. Like I said earlier, directed by Robin Wright, which is this is her directorial debut for film. She actually directed a bunch of episodes on House of Cards as well, and I know she has a short credit under her name as well. But I remember I was a big House of Cards fan before before all the shit hit the fan. But I remember like her name starting to pop up, like directed by and everything. And, you know, I knew, like, just reading behind the scenes, that she was dipping her toes into that. So it was nice to see this is her directorial debut for the film. It's written by Jesse Chatham and Aaron Dignam. And other cast members include Sarah Dawn Pledge as Alawa, Kim Dickens as Emma, and Brad Leland as Colt. Kova, starting with you, out of 10, what are you giving Land?
I'm with the audience, 8.4.
Okay. I'm actually a bit higher, and we'll, of course, get into it more, but I'm at a 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Brooke, where are you?
I was also going to give it a 9. At first, like, you get about halfway through, maybe 3/4 through, I'm I'm just going to say, for me, it was like an 8.5, and then I got to the end, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to give it a 9, because I really liked the end. So no spoilers, just explaining that my rating went up by the time I got to the end of the movie.
Okay, sorry. I was just making sure. I was like, wait. And Dan, what about you out of 10?
I'm at an 8.75.
Wow, okay. I really thought I was going to be like just so much higher than everybody else.
I like how specific yours was, Dan.
Thank you. I try. I like to do the decimal thing. You know what I mean? I won't say much about it, but I will say that I was expecting to sort of just be okay with the movie, so I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I'll just stop there for now.
Yeah. That brings our average to an 88 certified 88%. I say certified because everyone here gave it above a 75%. So yeah, it's an 88% average for Land. Now available on premium VOD. To hear the review, please subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/SeenItCast.
Hello, are you still there? I don't know who you are or who you listen to, but if you enjoyed this episode of Seen It Movie Reviews, make sure to check out their website, seenitcast.com, or send them an email to seenitcast@gmail.com. Do it now, or I will find you, and I will make you do it.